Going live with quiet microphones. The microphones are quiet, I'm fixing it.
If I use my presenting voice, can they hear me? Can everybody see me?
Just about. Stand by. Don't do that again, because I'm about to change the volume. I can't remember what volume we want to have this at.
It was at like 80 on the other PC.
Oh, okay, that solves my... Yeah. All right. 85. Mic check. 1, 2.
And then
okay.
we had 4 and 6 dB, I think.
Yeah. Okay, right, that's me.
I am throwing these away. They are rubbish.
Oh, yep, sure, go for it.
Why are they still here?
Why indeed? Right, filters. Oh yeah, the gain is off. There we go. Right, bam. Now we have gain as well. All right, now I just need to get yours. Why are you not working? Oh, I think the receiver isn't in... I think the receiver might not be in splits. Oh no, it should be. It should be in split stereo, shouldn't it? Road 1. I'm missing a mic at the moment. Right. Road 1, that's the left channel. That is working. Road...
I mean, apparently one of the microphones isn't even connected.
Ah, okay. That'll be your one then. That's why I'm not getting anything from you, so...
My light is on.
Please connect to yourself, because, yeah, it's definitely mine that's live. Lemon
pledge. I just undress.
Off camera. Lemon pledge. It's not lemon, it's classic, I'll have you know. Also, pledge is really good. Not sponsored. Ugh.
Hello?
Oh, yes. Oh, they got it. That worked.
Excellent. Please may you mute me whilst I stuff this in my shirt.
Certainly, one moment. You have been muted. I don't know why I put my keys there. That's a terrible place to put them.
Yes, you should put them in the normal place, the normal keys.
You're stressing me out. You're stressing me out, Caradog.
It's okay, you can turn me back on now.
All right. Okay, I'm going to turn Caradog on. How's that work for you?
Dark cupboards.
I see.
Filled with
good.
things.
Okay, right. I think we're sorted. Sorry for the slight delay, everyone. We had to reconfigure everything because where we're changing, where we're doing work on the, or rather we're disassembling the stream PC today, suddenly I was like, oh no, we need to have all of the cables going back to the YouTube rig again because we're streaming from there again. And then just as I was doing all of that, a customer came in like half an hour after closing time because I'd forgotten to drop the latch on the door, and I was just like, hi, how are you? You know, and then they were talking.
Who are you? Why are you here?
Yes, and it's just like, I'll just try and get them out as quickly as possible instead of turning around and being like, we're closed, get out.
We might have to reduce the Windows volume.
Okay, yeah, let's adjust that.
Stick it, yeah, way down.
Yeah. I'll put that back down to 80. Right. It's 5 on that one. Can you remember what the gain levels we were using were?
Yeah, about 5.
Yeah, 5. That's how it was before. So, yeah. Reboot base. We have a different mic, Lead Farmer. We changed it weeks ago. Yep,
oh,
mic has changed. Also, are we a little bit dim? Oh, I'm missing a light.
Yeah,
that's why I'm dim.
Haven't turned on the light.
Oh, there we go. That's more like it. All right. Okay. Much echo? Is it actually? Because
yeah, just turn the Windows level down and just boost the gain.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
OBS.
Yeah. I've had to set these microphones up again from scratch because we haven't used them on this computer yet. Oh, what's that one?
That is a speaker. You want a recording device.
Oh, yes. That's why.
Yeah, just knock that down to like 40.
No, that's way too low. Yeah, let's try 70. Right, that's 70, and then I'll dial back in a bit more. I'll dial back in a bit more gain. I think we're going to have to sit. I think we're going to have to sit down and spend a lot of time sound checking these at some point, because what's this, like the third time we've used them, and we haven't quite nailed down the setup for these mics yet. Although, did you listen to last week's stream? Because I didn't.
No.
Yeah, need to listen to last week's stream to see how that sounded by comparison. So, but that's fine.
We also got a hot mic somewhere.
No, nothing else is bouncing. That one was enabled, but there was no sound coming out of it. So yeah. Right. Sounds like you're sitting in a box. The last click fixed it. Yeah. Okay. See, the problem with doing it this way is we've got half the people are going echo, 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 and half the people are going, that sounds okay now. So, yeah. Okay. Right. So that's the thing. Instead of trying to troubleshoot us, just let me fix it, basically. Right. We're going to build some computers today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes. Anyway, how is everyone else? How is everyone else doing? Half the people are lying, the other half tell the truth. If I tell you that there is echo, is the mic echoing? Isn't there a name for that riddle? Like that's the classic riddle.
I mean, apparently, according to non-fact-check sources, the source of that riddle, the first appearance of that in popular media, is that one film with David Bowie in
Labyrinth.
his package.
Yeah. See, I like it how that's you're remembering it. Yeah. See, that's where I always knew it from. But considering its renown elsewhere, I just assumed that they had recycled it because it's such a well-known riddle. But I wonder if that actually is the source of it.
Possibly in popular media, but like
Yes.
one of those things of obviously it probably comes from antiquity.
True. Yeah.
And was simply made popular.
It was popularized
by David Bowie's involvement.
I genuinely thought you were about to say by David Bowie's package. And I'm like, Caradog, please.
He can act. Also, apparently I'm peaking significantly there.
Yeah, but also you did a...
I'll remember what my levels are.
You went for a Patrick Stewart, there are 4 light then as well, so... Also, I'm just going to dial down the gain a little bit anyway, because it is really leery at the moment. I'm going for 6, just so we can burst out laughing. I might make the limiter more aggressive as well, but again, I want to sound check first, because an aggressive limiter just compresses everything into the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I lie. I'm just going to make the limiter more aggressive. I need to understand better how limiters work as well, because like the setting that I have it at see, the fact that the limiter is there and turned on implies to me that it will clip anything that goes above -4 dB, which is like just below the top, yet you were able to clip then. So how does that work, you know? So unless, well, yeah, no, this is shown with filters in place. So I need to sit down and fiddle with that and actually understand what that means, because clearly putting in a activation level of, say, -5 decibels doesn't mean it clips everything above -5 decibels, which is what I would expect it to mean. So who knows? Probably based on input and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so sounded better on one center mic. Yeah, we don't have a setup for that though, because like today we're going to be moving computers around. There's going to be a computer that will then be put in front of the mic, and then you won't be able to hear us because the mic won't have line of sight anymore. So then, okay, well, we move the mic to one side. Now one of us is louder than the other. Okay, so move it up to the ceiling. Okay, now it's hanging down between us. That might work, but we don't have any kind of setup for hanging it in place as of yet. So that's something that needs to be investigated. This problem is harder than it looks to solve, basically. So yes. Anyway, get a massive boom arm overhead. That would be the way to approach that. But then that now means that we have a massive boom arm hanging down in the middle of shot all the time, which I guess isn't terrible.
But it's also something attempting to avoid.
Yeah. Because also that won't be easily mobile, which now instantly means we now need a dedicated condenser mic for that. And also, like, the other advantage of having the wireless mics, even though they're not as good as a condenser, is we can turn away and we can walk away and we can move around without our voices disappearing and stuff like that. So the advantages of the wireless mic outweigh their disadvantages, in my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously it's a case of it means that we can actually go pick something up mid-sentence.
Yeah.
And not have to consider it.
Yeah, that's it. So, anywho.
Yes.
Right. I'm going to relax because I've had a very, very stressful day. So I'm not feeling good right now. Like stuff is resolved, but it has been a rough one. So I'm just like, all right, let's just get through this. So we're building computers. So last week,
gotta get through this.
Who did we decide did that?
Daniel Bedingfield.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we had this conversation. That was me. The last time I felt this way was when I was trying to finish playing Sonic Colors. A while back, I was playing Sonic Colors on Twitch. It had been gifted to me by my friend Andy ACS, and it's not a good game. It's a really, by Sonic standards, it's not a good game. And like halfway through the game, I was sort of trying to keep a straight face, and Andy was just like, yeah, by the way, I didn't like Sonic Colors. I bought this game for you as a joke. And I'm just like, oh, thank God. I've been trying to be polite because this was a gift. But my God, this game can do one. So, yeah. Anyway. Echo is terrible again. What are we going to do? I'll get a pair of headphones and I'll monitor. We could reboot them all, but I don't think that's the problem.
No, I think we'll just turn off this microphone and it fixes the problem.
Not really.
And then
well, get the
condenser out.
All right, hold on a sec. I'm just going to get a headset and I'll just monitor so I can hear what's going on. Where is my headset? Oh. Oh yes, that needs doing. Yes, yep. So yeah, you can pull that one out while I track down my. Where the heck is my rig headset? There it is. Because now I have to set up a monitor so I can hear what's going on because I don't trust chat for audio. All right, let's turn that back on. Mic check, mic check. All right. I will put that there. And power on. Battery medium. Here comes Caradog. All right. All right. And go. Advanced audio properties. Right. Monitor. Let's see. Monitor and output. Monitor and output. There we go. And turn up my volume. Okay, right. This is me speaking. This is me speaking. Me. That's not echoing. There's no echo. I'll swap mics. This is me speaking on the other mic. There's no echo. In that rewind stream, it was awful. Right, hold on. Advanced audio. Monitor off, monitor off. There we go. All right. Whatever the problem was, it's gone. We're pushing on. If it echoes, it echoes. Sorry. Right. Okay.
You are not needed right now.
Right.
I forgot about that glass.
Huh. Right, let's move this up.
Why is there a hard drive here?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Okay, right.
There we go.
As I was saying...
There we go.
I know it's fixed because I monitored it and it wasn't echoing. Right. As I was saying, last week we spec'd up 4 machines.
Yes.
So we spec'd up 4 machines, one of which is basically already built. Wow, that is a lot of dust under there. It didn't look too bad from the outside, but yeah, it's been a while since this one started cleaned down. Okay. Anyway, so the first one was the Lianli, and so the first one was the Lianli. And this basically is already built, but it needs a couple of minor tweaks, and then it's essentially ready to go. So we're going to move a couple of fans around in this. So this one, the top and rear fans need to come out. Right, yes, that will lift off. So open past 90, and then it will lift away. And I will do the back one as well because these fans are all going to be plumbed in. Let's see. Are these to sell? They will be indeed, yes. So this is this Lianli. This has been the shop's demo PC for ages, and I had no intentions to sell this just because it was essentially my spare gaming PC. However, such is now that it doesn't really get used in here, so it just makes sense to sell it. So, so let's take that off. So, but before I sell it, I basically just want to make sure that I basically want to tweak a few things. I also kind of didn't want to sell this one just because the water cooler in it was expensive, I was just like, it doesn't really make sense to... I can't sell this water cooler at full value because it will blow the price of the machine out of whack. I'm not fixing the echo. Stop talking about it. If it sucks today, then it sucks. But the only other thing I can do at this point is stop the stream for sound check, which I'm not going to do. So if it's a bit sucky at the moment, I'm sorry, guys. Just deal with it for now. I can't. Yeah. So yeah. I will look at it later. However, I've tried to troubleshoot it. We can't resolve it at the moment, so I'll resolve it when we're not live. So, right. Okay. So, yeah, as said, so the problem with this is the water cooler is kind of overpriced, and it would blow the cost of the PC out of whack. But at this point, I'm just like, I've been sitting on it for a while. I'm just going to sell it like below cost and just get what I can for it, because like the cost of this machine has already been absorbed. So just selling it as is fine as far as I'm concerned. So better sell today than tomorrow, pretty much. Parts are all a different price. Yeah, that's exactly it. So, and in addition to that, like, if this, for what this is, it's still a good machine, and we decided that we were going to sell it. We decided to price this at $1,000, so $999 basically, and that seemed like a solid price for what is a solid gaming PC, and I would quite happily take $1,000 for this right now. So
yeah, absolutely. I was going to say it would make it very cheap, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ow.
Oh, you were just in the brightness.
Ever so slightly. Also, just the fact of the top of your head was being cut off.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, that is better because even after we've got the you're in a light coloured shirt and I'm in dark clothes because I always dress dark.
Yes.
Problem. So yeah. Oh no. Yeah. You walked on screen and I went fade into shadow.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you're incapable of wearing pleasant colours.
Yeah. I've lost control of my life. I'm beyond caring. I'm so far beyond caring this year. My summer has sucked. Like, not gonna lie. I've sort of come to this realization, basically. So, okay, right. Fans coming out. This is pretty easy. They're all.
Does the entire water cooler have to come off? Because it's got the long thread screws here. So has it got short thread ones at the front?
Oh, balls, I'd forgotten about this. I think so, but also it's not as bad as it looks.
I mean, it is. It means 6 fans need moving, not... Sorry, 9 fans need moving.
Oh, yeah. It's not that bad.
What?
I'm taking off...
Oh, I see.
I'm taking off back plates.
The silly back flappy things. Yes.
All right. Right, that comes off. This is actually reasonably cable tidied. Right, where's the triple? That's power to those top fans, so that's got to come out. That has improved things, actually. I think what was not helping was that this case is very white and reflexive. Yeah. So the front light there was just bouncing off of the case and making it glow. Right. Where does that go? That goes to there. Yeah, that's coming out. Whoop. Right, now where is the RGB for those fans going? Could you grab me a pair of side cutters from the main bench, please? Thank you.
No, those are pliers.
Next to the Costa Cup.
These aren't blue.
I didn't say blue.
I know. I was looking for the blue side cutters because you've had the blue ones for so long. And I was just like, these aren't blue.
For a moment, I was going to be like, what part of what I said sounded like blue? And I was about to be really annoyed.
No. It was just, the expectation of seeing the blue ones.
Okay, right. Let me go. These side panels are... I've got a love-hate relationship with the back side of this case because this case embodies all the reasons why I don't like double-sided glass. Because we've got a glass rear side panel, which means you can see all the cable clutter.
Yes.
So it has these panels to hide the cables behind. So you have a glass back panel showing metal, just black metal, with all the cables hidden behind it.
Yes.
So why is there a window on the back?
Yes. Yes.
I think one of the cases that I want to buy when we've got all of the new I buy all new stuff. One of the ones I want to get is the 216, the Landcool 216, which is the little brother of the Landcool.
Yes.
Because that theoretically is the Landcool, but without the extravagance, which seems like a really good result. It adds weight. Yeah, it adds a hell of a lot of weight as well. Okay. Right, how is the RGB done on this? Oh, that's tied into the case RGB. That's how I did it. Ew. They've got non-standard plugs on them. Gross. Okay, well, that's a problem for future Graham to solve when he tries to put these fans into a different case. I'll have to rewire them to make them useful. There we go. All right.
If that's the case, then would it in fact not make more sense to put a different AIO on this?
We don't have a different AIO to put on this. Is the problem there? I mean, I guess I could buy one, but then I'm lumped back with the EK Elite again, which doesn't solve. I think it's easier for me to just figure out a solution for these Lian. Like, I might not even reuse these Lian Li fans because they're not very good. You know, like we'll see. I might come up with a solution, but like I'm not married to these fans anyway, just because they're bad fans. They were fine as starter fans to come with the case, but like the RGB on them is pretty bad. So
fair. Okay.
You know, in a vacuum they're fine. So, you know, I would lob them in a cheap computer as a, there we go, it lights up kind of thing. But, yeah, I don't feel strongly about them. Right, I think, yeah, those are ready to start coming out now. And when you pull, those cables should pull through. Right, that's all free, that's all free. Right, yep, those will come out.
Good.
216 is very good. Yeah. Why is there a window on the back? So you can add RGB to backwash the wall? But if you do that, you could just put a light outside the computer. Is what I would do. I like that idea though, having a backlight behind the PC itself. Backlighting is underrated. Like one of the things I love the most about my home setup is I've got a desk light that is on a gooseneck above my monitors, and most of the light that puts down, it puts down a bit of light onto the desk to, you know, act as a desk light, but a large amount of it just fires behind the screens and illuminates the wall behind the monitors. So there's just a back glow to the whole desk, and that's just a really pleasant environment to be in.
What? Oh, there you go.
I've got the 216, absolutely brilliant. Only the audio cable is too short for proper cable management. Oh, that's disappointing.
This cable goes through the EPS.
Oh no.
The EPS is around the fan cable. What? This is
I will not elaborate.
No. It's actually through the 4-pin.
I will not elaborate.
Why is it through the cables of the 4-pin, Graham?
Noise filtering.
Graham.
EMI shielding.
How?
It makes the RGB flash in time with CPU load. It doesn't do any of those things. Right, okay, those are coming out. Am I going to sort this out now? I wanted to do this before the stream. One of the coolers that we've got, I didn't have a backplate for it, so I 3D printed one, but I've got to drill some holes through it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I'll just leave that there for now. So yes, front panel was too short. Yeah, I mean, like, can it go diagonally, or is it just not long enough to go along and down? Because that seems like a massive oversight. Because most cases generally have a really long cable, because it's got to go all the way to the opposite end of the motherboard, so they usually always make it long enough.
Do you know where that's from? Because it was just in your graphics card.
Oh yes, I know that has come off of the end of the RGB strip.
Fair enough, because it was just in the graphics card.
Oh yeah, that needs resolving. I will sort that out in a moment. So yeah.
So do we need to take the front off as well?
All right, just for everyone in the chat, this is what the audio inputs look like right now. Display capture. Let's turn that off. As you can see, there are two inputs. Everything else is gone or muted. This is my microphone. That one's Caradog's microphone.
Hello.
There is nothing else inputting. However, there is always going to be a bit of crosstalk. Given time, we can fine-tune the audio inputs to filter out the worst of it. However, that will take time, so I cannot resolve that right now. Whoop. Right. Yeah, so that's come off at the end, and the RGB strip is pulling out of the lens bit. So yeah, that happens. I'll sort that out in a minute. It needs a spot of glue to hold it on, which I might do in a minute as well. Good. Okay, so those fans are out. So yeah, so now we're going to move the 3 back fans of the AIO up to the top and back.
Yes. Does this need to come? Does the front of the case have to come off to do that?
I can't remember. Let's swap sides and I'll have a look.
Very well.
Because...
So I know there's a cage for the, like, radiator and stuff.
Yeah. That's why I was straightening.
Oh no!
Oh no. Okay, right. Alright, that's right. So, with the front panel off, there's a release screw here, and possibly one on the other side, and then the AIO assembly will come out the front. It's super annoying. If there was just the 2 no, it needs to come out. That's fine though. Right, did I screw this in on both sides? Yes, I did. Right, I'm spinning it around.
Very well. That entire assembly is thick.
Yes. Yes. It's one of the reasons why I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep this or not, because I like the absurdity of this AIO, but also it's absurd and I have no purpose, I have no practical use for it. Oh. Okay, this isn't too bad. For a minute I was just like, oh god, I'm going to have to disconnect all of the fans and everything. But it's actually not as bad as all of that. Like, they've all got to be unplugged, but I can put them back in again. This might not get cable tidied today, because I know it'll all go back in. I'm just not sure if I can do that quickly or not. However, for now, I'm just going to disconnect all the fans, because I know that will get us moving. Whoop.
There are 6 fans on the actual cooler, so in a push-pull configuration. And then there were 2 at the top of the case and 1 at the rear, just using them as lights, not actually for air moving abilities.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was sort of top exhaust, but yeah, like, it's not really the top exhausts. I don't think they really do a whole lot. I think just having 1 rear exhaust fan and triple intake is all you really need, because that's providing some positive air pressure to push the hot air out of the computer.
Having a fan here or here can help quite a lot with.
Yeah, I think 1 exhaust fan is worth it.
Heat in the top area of the CPU socket.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It also helps
necessary in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
it's just better.
It also helps just kind of like shivvy along the airflow and just go, put the airflow in the direction you want it to go in, because one of the problems of positive air pressure is you don't get to choose where it comes out. So sometimes it might be pushing out air in just like the wrong places, which doesn't really help with your through flow, so to speak. Right. Okay. Oh man, yeah, I had done. I don't know whether this is crimes or genius.
You had done lots of fiddly things.
Yes.
Like poking it through mounting holes.
Yes, I poked it through holes that I don't know if they were intended for fan wires, but that's where I'd put the fan wires. Right,
as these...
missed one.
Oh, I thought you'd got 3 of these. I was about to say, as these 3 are free, would it not be easier just to take off the front ones?
No, I want to keep the front ones anyway. It is a point of contention, though, is if you have if you have a triple intake and an AIO, oh, okay, that needs to lift out now. If you have a triple intake and a front AIO, do you want the fans in front of the radiator or behind? For cooling performance, it makes basically no real difference. Everything is just, you know, how good the fans seal onto the radiator, so to speak. And you can make pros and cons for push and pull with that. You know, the push and the pull isn't really relevant. It's just whether you get a good seal on the front or the back. But for me, for aesthetic, by and large, I think having the fans visible at the front looks nicer. But then if you had this at home and you just had it side on, you'd probably want them on the back of the radiator because you're looking into the case. So I think that's swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, I would assume it makes basically no difference.
All right, there we go. Right. Now I'm going to... Oh, what am I caught on?
Oh, these fans, they're plugged into the GPU.
This AIO is quite insane, though. The amount of wires this AIO generates is beyond obnoxious and is excellent ammunition for people who hate RGB.
12 cables.
And that's just for the radiator. Right, I'm going to spin that around.
Ta-da!
All right, so. Just need to move some fans, he said.
Yes.
Huh. You need a cat bed for the top of the case. Oh yeah, that's the classic. Right, so I need to move this in a way that doesn't stress out the hoses too much, and I'm just flipping it over now. I think they're fine the way they are. Yeah. Oh, that does. Yeah.
I thought you were going down, and they were just caught on the edge of the RAM.
Right, I'm just going to do it freehand from here, I think.
Yeah.
Oop. 1. Good.
2.
Fantastic stream.
Ah, yes. Fan.
I saw someone else earlier on just said, good stream, thumbs up. And that's a reference to a WAN show joke, but I can't remember what it was. It was, whoever said that, what was that joke again? Because on the WAN show at some point, they were debating what you could say in a chat that wasn't controversial. And in the end, they decided that you could only boil it down to just saying, good stream, thumbs up. So whoever made that joke, I do appreciate that. I thought that was funny.
There you go. They're free.
All right.
They've been undone.
So, did that go around that way? Yes. Yep, that was the curl that I was going for. Right. This can go on. Like, this needs dusting out, but what I'll do is I can bolt this on, and then we'll we can bolt this on, put the fans in, and this can be fixed just with the air duster afterwards. This doesn't require disassembly. So, oh yeah, no, that's fine. For a moment, I was like, oh no, the fans are the wrong way around, but they're not.
I'd hope not, given they'd just been mounted.
Yes. Okay. Come on, stretch for me a little bit. There we go. Just. Yeah.
Graham out of context.
Hey, I'm not out of context. You took me out of context. That's a you problem, along with everyone else who loves doing that.
Graham, who walks headfirst into every pun.
It makes people happy.
Only 7 jobs to do before Monday morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bleh. Yes, I know. I know. Si's been having a very busy week. I know that feel. Right. Oh, my days.
I'm unaware of any new supposedly famous people dying or otherwise.
Same. Why?
I don't know, because apparently someone told someone that Gary Newman had died.
Ah.
And
I recognise that name. I can't remember who that is. Is that the Craftwork?
Sorry, I was suddenly thinking, oh yes, who needs a gaming computer when you can just sell them a Latitude?
No.
Oh, there seems to be a problem with your computer. Don't worry, I have a solution. A Latitude.
There are a lot of This is an interesting thing because, like, anytime someone comes in with a laptop that's not that's not good value to repair, just immediately the idea of just selling them a Latitude just seems like such an obvious solution now. And I'm like, it seems wrong to just fob everyone off and just say, just buy a refurbished laptop. But at the same time, it's just like, if it works.
But it's also the case of, I could fix your laptop that is slower than the one I'm selling, or I could sell you a faster laptop.
Yeah.
And you would gain not only a working computer with no issues, it would be faster.
Oh, this is difficult. Okay. This is working.
I guess the question is kind of on the front of, do you want to fix stuff or just solve the problem?
Yeah, that's the dilemma, you know. However, also, you know, it just, like, sometimes these days more than ever, there are so many laptops out there where it's just like, it's just not worth fixing because it'll break again.
Yeah.
You know, there are people who come in, they're like, oh, you know, it's been really good. I'm like, yeah, but it hasn't, because it's in bad condition and it's not working.
Yeah.
I'm just going to grab a cloth and wipe stuff down while I'm looking at it. So yeah, it is tough because you do actually have to convince someone that their computer is in fact bad, which is not really a good feeling, but it's kind of the hard truth.
It's okay. Your computer's bad, but I can sell you a good one.
Yes. Right.
Do not worry. Do not despair. I will improve your computer today by selling you a new one. Yeah, as Si said, he had 2 HPs in today with broken hinges and half the chassis parts broken.
Yeah.
It's £200 in plastic parts that will break again. Or sell them a Latitude.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Weirdly, I've seen a slowdown on broken hinges in recent times. But I think also I'm beginning to wonder, it's just like, have I? Or have I just started selling these people Latitudes? Like, because when people come in with a broken hinge, if someone comes in with a HP that's got a broken hinge and a... I'm going to just...
Who put this camera here?
If someone comes in with a HP that's got a broken hinge and a hard drive in it, you may as well sell them a Latitude. Because that broken hinge is going to cost, you know, £100 to fix properly. After, you know, it's going to be 20 quid, it's going to be between 20 and 40 pounds in parts, plus 60 quid plus labour kind of thing, you know. So you're looking at, you know, 80, £100, and then it's going to need an SSD, which is going to be another 50 quid parts, and then you're going to discover that it's got 4 gigs of RAM as well, which means it's going to be another 20 quid for RAM. Before you blink, you're getting really close to £200 to fix just a grotty old laptop.
Yeah.
And just so, the struggle is real. Right, that is sorted. So, what happens? There they are. Do you want to start chucking those up the top while I start plugging these fans in around the back again? Sorry method is the best. Never worked for me. Yeah, it's never worked for me. I've tried it a couple of times, and every time I've tried gluing hinges, I've glued it all in, left it overnight, opened and closed it a few times, and it's just immediately started breaking. So, yeah. And that's aside from the fact of, honestly, I've never really been comfortable with the concept of just fill it with hot glue. I don't know, man. You know, there's not a doubt in my mind that there are some instances where that has worked out, but it doesn't feel like a good solution to me. I guess it's cheaper. I guess it's
through
cheaper than replacing the
bottom
laptop, but you've got to ask yourself the tough question of what are your objectives here. You know, where is? I'm just grabbing cable ties.
Where is the giant tub of cable ties?
Meow. This guy isn't in use anymore, so I'm going to pull it all back.
In, go, be gone. Stay. Blooming RGB bits.
What CPU and motherboard? This has currently got a an X570, an Asus X570F in it. Oh, and here. This has currently got an Asus X570F in it and a Ryzen 3950X. At one point, it did have a Ryzen 5800X in it, but I've kind of slowly been selling bits of this computer. But the 3950X is still going to be pretty decent. I'm just going to push through that. I'll sort that out in a minute.
Oh, I need to unscrew these.
All right, I'm going to start plugging fans back in.
Get out of there.
These have got a thread around the back. Never say bad, say outdated or beyond economic repair. Yeah, pretty much. I would agree with that. All right.
This computer is actually just terrible.
Well, yeah, there are some computers where you're just like, this was low end when it was new.
This was junk when it was new, and you are an idiot for buying it.
Well, in all fairness, I'm not going to say they were an idiot for buying it. I'm going to say Currys was immoral for selling it. I think, yeah. In all seriousness, like I think I've run out of patience for Currys now. I think I have genuinely.
I need screws to screw it in.
I know. I was wondering where you were going. It's okay. It's okay. There's no conflict here. Only entertainment.
Only drama.
Oh no.
Did you hear about Chantel?
Chantel? Okay, no, sorry, that one's lost on me. Ran out of patience for Currys when you started working there? Yeah, big mood. I kind of had a taste for that in my Dixon's days, where just I never really settled in at Dixon's because I didn't have I wasn't willing to hard sell people on all of the profit margin stuff. I was trying too hard to get them good value for money. Which is kind of ironic, really. All right. 3 fans at the front are connected.
Where do you want these?
All right.
Do you want them kind of here-ish?
They should only line up on those rails.
Well, yeah, but they can go there or...
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
There.
So I feel like trying to push them as far toward the back of the case as possible is the correct answer, because the closer to the front they get, the more likely they are to be just sucking cold intake air out. But on the flip side, any air they pull out has just gone through the CPU rad, which means they're getting heat out of the case. So there's an argument to be made that that doesn't actually matter. But I think toward the back looks better just because it balances the distribution in the case.
Sure.
Is the AIO being removed? No. The AIO is the EIEIO is not coming out. I wish we had. I kind of want to. CLC isn't a good name for them either. Just the water cooler is not being removed. We just needed to take 3 of the fans off of the radiator to relocate them to the back of the case. Right, I'm gonna sit and finish my coffee while you screw those fans in. Ugh. The AIO. Snag. Oh, Only the real ones will get that reference.
I'm a snake.
Actually going home, back in a bit. All right, no problem.
Slippery snake.
See, I don't know what you're referencing.
I'm a snake.
Yeah, no, I don't know that one. I'm referencing, oh no, I've forgotten the name of it.
The problem with this is that these are in the fan blades. So do I?
It should be possible to settle them. Like if you pull those down a bit, they should settle in such a way that they don't clip. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You've got to wiggle it.
Just because that's not the position that they were in previously.
Well, make it work. I believe in you.
Okay. You said I only want to move the fans. I don't know. Depends on what your tolerance is, I guess.
My tolerance is
waning.
Not... Yeah.
My tolerance is waning.
That's the joke I was going for. Yes.
Your incompetence.
Harriscom, thank you for the £2, man. How you doing? YouTube finally locked me out of watching new vids while I'm logged in. So I'm watching on an unsigned channel and commenting on own channel. What? YouTube finally locked me out of watching new vids while I'm logged in. What does that mean? Is this in reference to ad blocking? Yeah, the ad blocker 3 strike. Yeah, I at some point I'm going to have to sit down and catch up on what the latest is on that and how to resolve it. I feel like I'm obligated to know. Last I'd heard that you needed to like clear your cookies and stuff like that to fix that. But the other thing I want to do as well is try using YouTube on a blank account and just see what adverts are like, because like I'm not saying this just as a YouTuber, however, just pointing it out as someone where, because like I've read the white paper, people should not be seeing more than like 15 seconds of 15 to 20 seconds of unskippable adverts max at a time.
In what time period though? Because if that's 15 seconds of unskippable ads every time an ad appears, that's 15 seconds at the beginning of a video, 15 seconds during the video, and 15 seconds at the end of a video.
Yeah, that's the bit I'm not sure about.
Which makes 45 seconds of advert per 15 minutes of video. Sorry, per 10 minutes of video.
Yeah, that's the bit that I want to check basically, because like theoretically, because people keep saying like sort of, oh, I had to watch 5 minutes of adverts. This is ridiculous. I'm like, I'm pretty certain that can't happen. So I kind of want to just do the advert experience and be like, is it actually as bad, or are people just whining, you know? But also at the same time though, the current information is that uBlock Origin have been keeping up with the arms race, haven't they?
From what I've seen, it appears to be that YouTube went a different way and just went, oh, your account's been detected at blocking ads, therefore we're blocking your account from viewing videos.
Oh yeah, oh that's kind of gross. Yeah. Not tried clearing cookies. Yeah, see, I think if you clear cookies, that can clean that up, but not 100% certain. A uBlock extension. Yeah, Rossman was explaining something. He was talking about Revanced. I think that might be a mobile app.
Yeah, there are a couple of mobile apps that effectively just don't, obviously display the ads or request the ad.
Yeah, had 3 unskippable ads this live stream. Okay, so now comes the point where I say, remember how last week I told you guys I was going to turn on adverts for this stream and see what happened? So 3 unskippable ads in an hour. That's quite a lot in that case, because.
Not really.
I suppose that's every 20 minutes.
If that's 3 unskippable ads, each one is 15 seconds worth.
Yeah.
That makes 45 seconds of ads in an hour. That's a lower frequency than it is for a pre-recorded video, which would be 45 seconds every 10 minutes and 1 second.
Yeah.
In theory, if you were gaming it.
Yeah. There have been 2 or 3 mid-roll ads this stream. Yeah, see, this is the test I wanted to run, because I switched on the mid-rolls for this one, like I said I would last week. to test so we could actually see what would happen. And I selected the option from Google that basically just said just automatically insert ads at the appropriate times. So yeah, and if there's been if there's been like 3 mid-roll ads in an hour, that's a lot more frequent than I would like.
That's your problem because it's RGB.
Okay. I would be like, so, oh, you pawned off all the wires onto me. I'm just like, oh, actually, yeah, that's understandable. So yeah,
you can do whatever you want with that.
Trade places.
I feel like we should discuss as well which computer we're building next. What are we building next?
Hold on a sec. I'm just going to lean across. I shall open the spreadsheet.
Excellent.
Build parts.
Oh, you also found another motherboard.
That's a customer motherboard. It has a dead M.2 slot.
I see.
It's effectively going in the bin, but I'm kind of inclined to keep it because the only thing that's wrong with it is the M.2 slot doesn't work, so you could just use it with a SATA SSD.
Yes.
And theoretically it should be fine. So I haven't thrown it out for that reason, is that it's arguably still good.
Yeah.
So yes. Not going to open the cider. I kind of want to. And I think I might actually, because I had a headache earlier on, which is the other reason why I'm in a really foul mood this afternoon, quite frankly. However, it is clearing up a little bit now, so I think a cider may help. Put an SD in good, yeah, pretty much. YouTube have been experimenting with adverts, so many people have had a shed load. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know what this looks like. Oh yeah, so the next one is the stream rig. Okay, right, I'm going to get these plumbed in. So just to finish up the thoughts on me switching on the adverts for this stream, yeah, based on what I'm seeing, I will turn them off again. Like, I don't think I was planning on leaving them on anyway. I don't think that was never in my plan. I just wanted to try it out just so we could get some feedback on what that actually looks like. Because, yeah, the only way is to find out what they're doing is to actually run the adverts and see what it does. And the answer certainly seems to be, you know.
I thought that was because of the RGB strip there.
No.
So you're just like, oh, what's happening to this?
It's fine.
It's falling apart in my hands.
It's beautiful. It looks pretty. Everyone else is wrong.
I see.
This RGB strip is not particularly good, though. This is the expensive Lianli one, and it's... How on earth does that work?
It's the expensive Lianli one. I've soldered bits to.
Oh, those are the wrong way around, that's why. Shut.
How does this work? Ah, not like this. Not like this.
No, ladies.
Are we just taking the motherboard and CPU and RAM for this? Or are we also using the power supply?
I don't think we're using the power supply. I think we're just taking the platform. So yeah. I'll move across so you can start disassembling. Yeah. Do you get any money from ads in? Yes, that's the point. Yeah. I get a cut of ad revenue. That's what funds the channel. And many other things. However, that does come with a trade-off. I try to balance things because it's not in my interest to hammer everyone with loads of I try to balance it and make it as not awful as possible. This is why I don't run mid-rolls on the mainline videos. I've had the option of switching on mid-roll ads on all the main videos for a long time, and that would significantly improve my revenue. But I choose not to because I don't like mid-rolls and I don't want to inflict them on everyone. Am I going to put a spot of glue on this? No, it'll be fine. However, I wanted to try it out on the podcast just so we could see what kind of shape that took. Because the podcast is a very easy place to see if something is effective. Because, spoilers, the podcast doesn't make any money at all in ad revenue. The viewership just isn't high enough. And so the reason why I wanted to run the ads on it today was if we see that this specific episode has like double the revenue of a typical one, even though I don't think I would continue with it, that is interesting information to know that how the mid-roll ads were really annoying, but did generate a loss of revenue. That would be very interesting information to me. But ultimately, I have a suspicion that the answer will be a resounding no. Right. Start tying this stuff back. Right. Oop.
Come here. There we go.
So the machine that Caradog is working on is the Stream Rig, and that's currently in the bare bones chassis. We're pulling all of that out, and we're actually going to build it up into a proper case, and then we're going to put something else on that chassis, which will be the Stream Rig again.
There you go.
Whoop. Right.
Actually, given we've no idea what's going on there or when, I'll put the screws back into the frame.
That's a good idea, yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think we're rebuilding that one today.
Then we won't lose them.
Yes. Like, if we ran out of stuff to do, then we could start rebuilding it, but running out of stuff to do is a very good problem to have on this show. So...
yeah.
Or rephrase that, it's running out of stuff to do on the given stream. Because, like... I don't think I didn't commit to saying we were going to build 4 computers today. We just have 4 that we could build. I'll be impressed if we get past the second one, so... Also, I'm spending time trying to run really nice cable ties when really I should just get it done. All right. Do. Scanning down chat. Rude.
Clonk.
Yeah. YouTube Premium is the best solution to this entire problem, but I think it's too expensive. So I don't blame people for not signing up for it. But what I do suggest is make a family account with your friends, because that's actually what I do. I'm part of a YouTube family account because I don't get free premium. So yeah, as I say, my recommendation is to make a family account with your friends, and that will solve your issue. And then A, you've got YouTube Premium, so you don't need to worry about the adverts, and B, Premium legitimately helps creators a lot. Premium views are worth a whole lot more than ad-supported views by a long shot. So that's also the best thing you can do to support creators. But like I said, I do agree that Premium at face value is too expensive. So I don't blame people for being squeamish about buying it solo. I actually cancelled my Premium when they increased the price of it this year. And then shortly after that, a friend of mine was just like, oh, I'm getting a Premium account and I'm starting a family. Do you want in on that? And I was like, yes, please. So,
do you want to join my family?
Yes. I will become part of your fold.
You can be the nanny.
What? Why do I have to be the nanny? Okay, right. That is the RGB strip. I'm taking so long to plug in these cables.
Why am I the nanny? Well, you couldn't be an au pair.
You couldn't be a no pair?
Au pair.
Au pair. What's an au pair? I shouldn't have asked that question, should I?
This is why you cannot be the au pair.
Okay.
The difference between a nanny and an au pair is that an au pair has the same or similar social standing as the family engaging them, and a nanny is from a lower social class.
I see. I do not know such things. I want to ask questions to further this joke, but at the same time, I'm just like, anything I say will just further implicate myself and my lack of social sensibilities.
Oh no. I have something to confess. I bought the cat t-shirt.
Duma, why are you like this?
Duma, why?
There were explicit instructions. Please send me a picture. Thank you for the €10, dude. Also, also, I'm aware that I've forgotten to do the. I have not done anything with the merch yet. It's because the past 2 weekends, each Sunday, I've just been working on other stuff. Like the Sunday after we did it, I was. The Sunday after we did it, in a fit of creativity, I just edited a whole bunch of videos up in one go and then was like, right, I'm tired, I'm going to go play games now. And then last Sunday, I was fixing something with my VR setup for the Alex streams and didn't get round to it. So yeah, however, it's going to happen, he says confidently.
Yes.
Right. I think I can probably pull this back and close this up.
What are you? You are 3700X.
An idiot sandwich. Duma, you're a terrible person, and I love you. Like, the cat, it's not even going to be good. Like, it's good, like... It'll be extremely exclusive, though, I'll give you that. I don't know how to feel about this. Part of me is just like, that's kind of funny. And the other part of me is just like, no, but don't, though.
Do not go to...
You could have purchased a good t-shirt.
See, but now they can buy 2 t-shirts. Dave Weldon says, I see a lot of reaction videos on YouTube, which are just contributors piggybacking on legitimate content. Does YouTube pay royalty to... No, they do not. This is one of the reasons why React content is a heavy point of contention at the moment. There's a lot of drama doing the rounds regarding this specific issue right now. And, like, I'm not going to go through all of the details to it because, like, people will say, oh, well, you know, it does feed some traffic through to the original creators that otherwise wouldn't have gone through there. A little bit of traffic is better than no traffic, etc., etc. But I think all of these arguments are in bad faith, personally, and just trying to justify it. And like, I'm not going to wade into this. I'm not going to wade into this discussion myself, but my opinion is that reaction content is extremely low. I'd actually say that there is a hierarchy of creativity for content creators of like a tier level where some content is bottom tier. I do not consider you a creative person for making this kind of content kind of tier, and then that scales all the way up to this is legitimately really good content, difficult to make and requires a lot of effort and provides something of value kind of thing, being at the top. And I was just to finish up, I consider React content to be at the bottom, if not slightly up from the bottom of that hierarchy. So I was going to say there is a fine line between making React content and making React content that is successful. The skill is in making it successful.
Yeah.
The skill isn't necessarily in the content.
Yeah.
It is making the content successful.
Yeah. But then there's also a skill in robbing people. So,
yeah,
that skill doesn't necessarily add value to the platform.
That's not what you would...
No, I said adding value to the platform is one of the stipulations. Like, or bringing something of value to the platform. You know, like counting grains of sand requires a lot of patience. That doesn't mean that I should applaud someone who did it. You know. That being said, actual genuine commentary where someone has taken some content that has been made and is providing worthwhile commentary about it, that's a different kettle of fish and kind of needs to be assessed on its own merit, because it becomes transformative, you know, because at that point we're getting into the realms of review and stuff like that. And the water gets significantly more muddy there. But also, I think we can, anyone who says that quote-unquote reacts content as we know it, where just someone sits and watches a video while eating their lunch, that's not commentary, that's not review, and them going, good video, is not transformative. So yeah, don't come at me with that, because that's just a bad faith argument. Right, this cover plate is really hard to put on, but once I put it on, we're done here.
We are leaving.
Yeah. Oh, that's not fitting on very well. Oh, okay, right. I think now I see why I didn't have these cables tied back in this way.
Get.
Okay.
Damn it.
Whoop.
There we go. Oh no.
What? Good job.
What?
Good job.
What?
Right.
I was just like, good, this has been attached and we're not going to lose parts now.
Unboxing videos are a weird one. I think it is possible to do... I think it's possible to do good unboxing content, but it would not surprise me to learn that there are lots of channels out there that is not good unboxing channel. I don't watch unboxing videos, so I don't have a lot of experience in that field. And to me, if someone said, make an unboxing video, to me, the idea of that would be, I would explain what the product is, what it sets out to do, and how it's presented, like in a sense of, I would unbox it and be like, yeah, this is nicely presented. It's come with lots of good cables. This looks like it's going to be a good product. This video will not be doing extensive testing on it, but at face value, this is what you get, and this is my opinion of that. But then I believe there are significant amounts of unboxing channels out there that aren't doing any kind of critical thought on it, and are essentially just shill channels, where they just unbox something that was sent to them for free as just, quote-unquote review samples, and aren't actually doing any critical analysis of it at all, which means that, and yeah, at that point it's like, well, I could get this information from Amazon,
Yeah.
This isn't an expert giving me their first impressions of a product from a area that they have a reasonable amount of experience in, This is why Short Circuit toes a very interesting fine line, because Short Circuit is an unboxing channel, but they're trying to add more value to it.
I would contend, and failing.
Yeah, I think there is an argument to be made as to whether they're doing that successfully or not, but that's what they're trying to do.
Yes. Which cooler were we selling with this? Were we going to sell it with this?
I think so, yeah, because I see no reason to put any other cooler on it, if I'm honest. I would have stopped you taking it off had I been paying attention.
No, we were swapping CPUs anyway.
Oh, yes.
Because we're putting the 3800X in
That's
this
right.
board and the 3700X in the MSI.
Yeah.
So that's why I took it off.
Yes, agreed. Because even though it's a small cooler, I think that's a smart cooler. I think it'll look nice in the computer. Plus, we can always change it out at some point anyway. So, sponsored reviews are mostly a waste of time. Yeah, I mean, sponsored reviews are not reviews. This is also why it's really important for a channel to properly quantify what it is they're doing. Again, I think Linus Tech Tips catch a lot of flack for their sponsored content, but they do disclose when it's sponsored content. So it's up to you whether you're going to listen to them or not at that point.
Yeah.
You can't accuse them of saying of not disclosing when content is sponsored. Whereas I think there are a lot of other channels that would certainly heavily gloss over that fact, or will quite happily sing the praises of a product that is demonstrably not very good just because they can then stick their Amazon sale links in the description.
Where's the frame though? There.
You should never listen to sponsored content. I think that's a bit of a generalization. I think you can listen to sponsored content to gather more information about a product, especially because sponsored videos are going to hit on the main selling points of the product that the manufacturer wants to push. So that's a good opportunity to learn about the particular aspects of the product that the manufacturer cared about and wants you to know about. So you can get good information from it. They'll tell you about the specific features that they're trying to sell it on. However, it should be an exercise of information gathering rather than evaluation per se.
Stop it. Thank you.
I wouldn't buy something based on a sponsored video, but I do watch a sponsored video to learn more about what kind of thing is out there and what the state of things are.
Yeah, because whilst...
Yeah, again, sponsored review is not a thing. It's either a review or it's a sponsored video. It can't be both. That is an absolute. Rich1880, thanks for the $2, man. Much appreciated. Another mid-roll. 15 seconds. Yeah, 15 seconds. Not horrendous, although, again, that's another one. Yeah, these adverts are a lot more frequent than expected. I thought, I'll have a look in a minute just to see what they were set to. I thought they were set to like every half an hour. It was set to every half an hour with the checkbox of base the timing on how long the user has been watching to optimize ad position. So the idea is that if someone has just joined the stream 2 minutes before a mid-roll, they won't see the mid-roll because they've only been here for 2 minutes, which is what it was setting out to do. But so far, it sounds like it's running. It sounds like the ads are running like every 15 to 20 minutes, which is definitely more aggressive than I would like them to be. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to leave it on for this stream just because I want to see what it does for revenue. So very sorry, please bear with me. I want to do research.
I must do a science.
Yeah. Like joining Twitch streams and getting 2 minutes of ads. Yeah, Twitch adverts are pretty horrendous. They are really long.
I'm yet to see an advert on Twitch for anything other than Audible.
I have seen some other stuff, not very much.
That's literally all I've seen is Audible. Yeah. I'm just like, okay.
They sure as hell advertise there a lot. Right.
Which makes sense, because it's Amazon advertising Amazon to Amazon customers.
This is true. I'm going to get this big Liami out of the way. We're done with this.
Let's try that again, but be more successful.
Right. Limbering up to lift it up.
Hello, can you go? Hello, can you go?
Too low. Lower. Lower. Lower.
Those are very different references.
I know. I just find the Zap Brannigan lower meme very, very funny. Okay, right. That's going on. This one's going in here. I'm going to quickly take this. I'm going to quickly take this one out the back and give it a quick dust out.
Very well.
I will return momentarily. The Liami is done. Yes.
Right. What we need to do is add pricing.
Yeah, which I can do. I'm speaking up to be heard on your mic now. Which I can do because I have. Oh well, I have rough designs. I'll do more. Yes, it needs pricing.
Pricing. How much are we paying? Many much. Whoop. Yes. As far as I understand, the intention is with Twitch ads to basically show you an ad as soon as you start watching a channel if you are not subscribed or you don't have whatever Twitch Premium is called. So you will join a channel and it will show you an ad instantly. But then as far as I can tell, as long as you don't refresh the page, you won't be served another advert. So, yeah. That's my understanding. And that's only been my limited experience. So yes. And the reason you can't hear Graham is because, as he said, his microphone's muted. Because he was making loud noises with blowy-matrons.
And now I'm going to mimic the echo.
Echo.
Right. This now needs wiping down.
Good.
That's the thing. We need to pull the power supply out of this case as well.
Yes. I also need an SSD cover.
SSD.
No, the cover.
SSD cover.
Yes. I need the stupid bit of plastic.
Actually, it's metal.
I need the stupid bit of Asus tomfoolery.
There it is.
Is that actually it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some weird bit of plastic that had to be in the shape of, a falcon or something.
That's Gigabyte. Nice self-own, Mr. Gigabyte fanboy.
Ooh.
Although actually the Gigabyte one's an eagle.
Which, last I checked, wasn't a falcon.
Falcon. Right, I'm going to push that through.
Ugh.
That will pull through, that will pull through. Alright, I'm going to sit over here.
Have you pushed through the cable for the power supply? For the fan?
I'm not convinced that there is a cable coming out of that.
There is! It's right here! It's right here, it's in my fingers.
Okay, so there is there, but you can push that through. Alright. Sub count limit is now 500 for monetization. Oh really? That's come down a bit then. Which is, I think, a good thing. Because it was very controversial when YouTube set that to 1,000 subscribers to monetize. And there's an interesting back and forth on that because theoretically with less than 1,000 subscribers, you're not going to make any meaningful revenue at all. Ask me how I know, But on the flip side though, when you're starting out, just having monetization and the ability to earn money is very symbolic in making you want to continue developing your channel. Because even if you're making £1 a month or something like that, the point is that it's real and there is actually some real money there. And at that point you see that and you go, it's working. All I have to do now is grow it, And the other thing as well is that if you're monetized at, say, 500 subscribers, you probably make bugger all a month. But if you make a breakout video that suddenly rolls big numbers, that will earn a crap ton of revenue. Whereas if you were sitting at less than 1,000 subscribers, unable to monetize, and you got a big breakout video, you get nothing from it because you weren't monetized. Which kind of sucks because that big moment you had that could have made you a decent amount of money doesn't earn anything, even you'd have to have a massive viral video for it to make huge money, but even still, that might have been the difference between getting a couple of £100 or something, and that might be how much it costs you to get that really good camera that you needed or something like that, So yeah. Did you buy new power supplies? Yes, we have new power supplies, and we've got we have RAM and we have SSDs. Might not be using all the power supplies, but we have stuff. This case is a Corsair 220T. We do also have a 275, but this one's the 220T. You've got to have significant watch hours and produce at least 1 video a month. Yeah.
Have a piece of grass.
I see. I don't know what the. I've got no idea how many watch hours is feasible. That would be interesting to sit and calculate at some point, because watch hours are very difficult to quantify. Like, if you say you need 1,000 watch hours a month, it's just like, is that a lot? I'm not sure. You know, you could sit down and figure this out. If you make, say, 20-minute videos, if you put out a 20-minute video once a week, and that 20-minute video got 100 views, how many watch hours does that equate to? You can figure out how feasible that is, you know.
Darker, darker, darker. Brighter, blown out.
My forehead.
Darker.
Have you considered locking off explosion? Have you considered locking off explosions?
It's okay, you can wear something other than dark blue, you know.
I could. Anyway, turn your microphone around so it faces inwards. No, my voice is deeper and more sonorous than Caradog's is, and it alters the tone of the microphone.
Oh.
If I put it in, you'll hear significantly more bass in my voice, which will blow out my microphone. That's nothing to do with the echo.
So what were we using? We're using...
Right, so this is one of the good ones, so I suggest we put the best power supply we have, which I would contend is that GD500.
Or kilowatt Game Max.
Yeah, so that's your kilowatt Game Max. And
or that one is. Either or.
Yeah, they're functionally... I'm 99%... Yeah, functionally identical.
Is this one me?
Yes, you're left. There we go.
So I was going to use the wizard thing anyway, just so there's dust all on the back anyway.
Ah, very well. Okay, Caradog is going to go and dust out that power supply. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're going to use that one in there. I'm going to quickly check the specs as well to see what else we're going to need for this. So we've got the cooler. Oh, we were going to put the RM650X in this. Oh, I have not prepared for that. We'll lob the GD500 in because that will be fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'll use the RM650 on somewhere else. And we're going to put... Right, so it's already got RAM and it needs one of those SSDs. According to the spec, we're actually going to use the RM650X in this. However, I've not pulled that out and looked for cables, so I vote we just stick this in for now. We've got enough power.
Where did the SSD go that I took out of the motherboard?
That'll be that one. Yep. It is not lost. Right. I will demute you. There we go. You are unmuted.
I just picked it up and stuff. I was like, oh, I will dislodge any remaining stuff.
Rude. What does EVGA make now?
As far as we're aware, nothing.
I was going to say, that's a good question, yeah.
As far as we know, they have ceased production on everything.
Yeah. Who knows? Which is a bummer, because when I was looking around, so I couldn't find you can't get GD500s on Amazon.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So everyone is definitely rolling down their last stock.
Oh, that hard drive cage.
NVIDIA really ducked EVGA over. Well, so-so. You know, I mean, NVIDIA's nonsense is certainly what killed the EVGA GPU division. But, you know, like, NVIDIA didn't stop EVGA from making power supplies or motherboards. That was their decision. I mean, their motherboards are incredibly specialist, but also I feel like they could have made a mid-range motherboard as well. You know, if EVGA are like sort of, oh, we only sell 2 motherboards a year, it's like, yeah, because you make Halo motherboards. You know, if you put out a couple more SKUs for even just high-end instead of Halo, then you would probably sell more motherboards. And their power supply division, you know, they seem to have a pretty solid footing now, I thought, but they've just decided to stop selling them, apparently. So, I don't know what the deal with that is. EVGA wanted to retire. Oh, yeah, that was true, yeah. Yeah. I feel like, I forget his name, but the guy who owns EVGA, I do feel like he could have passed the reins on to someone. So, yeah. EVGA making keyboard and mice now. Are they any good? I've not seen them. Johnny Ozzy, thank you for the £20. Does Caradog accrue holiday for all the hours he spends building PCs for you? No, he accrues nothing. Caradog is...
he's a motivator.
Yes, yes. Actually, in all fairness, Caradog is a motivator.
You're going to do that merch, aren't you, Graham?
Yeah.
No. You're going to do... No, okay.
Caradog has a problem where he needs to save people. And he's actually pretty good at that, so... Weren't they outsourcing PSUs like Seasonic or Delta? Most likely.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, but then...
There are 4 OEMs.
I was going to say, arguably,
maybe 5.
Yeah, arguably everyone is doing that anyway.
So what is there? There's Seasonic, Great Wall,
Superflower.
Oh dear, I've forgotten what they're called. OCW? No, can't remember. And then someone else.
Yeah.
But yes, Tingwall. Oh, Tingwall.
Very well.
Tingwall make a lot of the Corsair ones from memory.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Caradog gets paid in clout. Yeah. Which is kind of ironic considering anytime someone's just like, does Caradog have a YouTube channel? It's like, nope. Does he put makeup? Nope. Does he have a twit? Nope.
Does he have a twit? Yes. I have a collection of my own twits.
Do I think Alphabet cooked some of the algorithm, the metrics on YouTube, so views and profits are down? I don't think they cooked them, but I think I would imagine that the Google AdSense algorithm that calculates what adverts are displayed where has not been doing what it was supposed to do in areas, because it is demonstrable that some people's adverts were either not being shown or they were being shown to irrelevant audiences and the clients were being charged for that, even though the clients have said, like a client would say, don't show my advert in Australia because I don't sell product in Australia, you know, and then the advert would get shown in Australia and they would get charged for that impression, which is a waste of money because they're not going to sell anything because they don't sell it to Australia, for example. And Google got into hot water for this. I don't think they were doing this on purpose because that just doesn't make sense for them to have been doing that on purpose. And, you know, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here. However, certainly things have not been going the way they were supposed to. Like, we can argue over what the reason for that was, whether it was malicious intent or incompetence or whatever. It is undeniable that that it wasn't doing what it was supposed to. And then in addition to that, the invalid traffic thing, man, I don't know. I don't know is the answer to that. However, certainly it feels like YouTube/Google have been trying to clean house and get things on track with the way they're supposed to be, and that has resulted in the numbers being actually significantly worse than it appeared. I don't think they cooked the numbers. I just think that things were worse than they looked like. And now Google have actually wiped off the layer of dust. They're like, oh, whoops, kind of thing. And this, does this mean that they're innocent? Well, you can make arguments that this has misled their clients into believing that there was revenue when there wasn't and stuff like that.
Don't forget their clients are the advertisers.
Yes, and I mean either the advertisers or like the channel, like the channels. Like I am one of their clients because I am.
You're not paying them.
Okay.
Their client is the advertiser. You are their product.
Yes, but also I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, I was going somewhere with that.
Have they misled their client and told them there is revenue where there is not revenue?
Oh, right. So their client has been misled because the advert was shown in places it was not supposed to be, and so on. Then, in addition to that, there is an argument that they have misled content creators into making us believe that there was a revenue stream where there wasn't. Whether or not that is whether or not they are responsible for that is another question. Like, you know, does YouTube owe me for making me believe there was a revenue stream when there wasn't? Probably not. But that you could still argue that there was a level of either intentional or unintentional deception there.
Boy, the clearance at the bottom is very low, isn't it?
Yes, this is a tight case to build in.
I see.
Would you like to swap places again?
I will also just attempt to understand why it's not working at all.
Yeah. The copyright issue, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. Yeah. Like, copyright is another issue entirely, and definitely there's a conversation to be had there. But copyright is not to do with advertising and stuff like that.
Like that? That will...
VPN usage messes up the ad algorithms. That is an interesting thought. Yeah, I could believe that. Because the rise of VPNs is very real. Which is also, in a way, quite annoying as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of people are running VPNs that just don't need to be running VPNs, because everyone selling a VPN has taught them that will make them secure and private, when that's not how that works at all.
Secure and private is a mindset.
Yeah. And a way of life. You know, you don't just turn on a VPN and just magically you are secure and private, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a Corsair 220T. It's a very compact ATX case. It's really small, but that also makes it tricky to build in.
We have no standoff screws.
We have no standoff screws. For what?
To hold the motherboard into the case. We have no screws to go into the standoffs.
Oh, yes.
Motherboard screws into standoffs.
Yes.
I used the incorrect ordering of the words.
You absolute buffoon.
Yes. I require the thingies to go in the thingy to hold the motherboard in place.
I can't believe you've done this.
I only need 2 of them.
No. No. Go away. Go and read chat. Go and read chat. You're in charge of chat.
Hello, chat.
Do you want to put us on bench cam for a bit?
I will...
We haven't had bench cam yet.
Engage. Bench cam with face.
Haha. There we go. That'll do. Oh yeah, you want to fix the face cam.
Hello, tiny face cam.
We're up here now.
Bench cam with face. What? Oh, live gamer. There we go. I was very confused and couldn't actually see the source that was the face cam. I was like, how is there even a face cam?
I see.
Huh. Hello.
Ah. Oh, I see.
Huh. I'm trying and failing at maths. Don't mind me.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right, that is audio.
That doesn't feel right.
I need some tweezers.
Hold on.
There.
Huh.
Ba, 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 ba.
Is that about right? Yes, that is about right. Fine. Okay. Reduce.
Wouldn't overthink it because we're not going to be on this one next week.
No, indeed. But I was just like...
Oh, how far can I stick my head forward? To there. Okay. I can't put my nose over the back of the case. It's got a bent pin. Let's just fix you.
Have you...
Hmm?
What's got a bent pin?
Oh, the front audio connector.
Oh, we see.
It just got dinged or something. It's not bad, you know. It's just enough that it just needs straightening out before the plug will go on it.
Very well. I will.
These low connectors are really exposed, so it's, yeah, it's not uncommon when they get dinged for boards like this to get moved about all the time.
There we go. Okay. Tried a VPN to watch iPlayer. Still got blocked because iPlayer knew it was a VPN. Yes, it depends on which ones you use, because some of them will very much...
Yeah, all the mainstream VPNs, everyone knows what the exit nodes are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of a case of, obviously, certainly when a lot of them sell themselves as being like, ah, yes, watch content in other locations. It's just like,
Yeah.
Sometimes. Infrequently. But they'd have to keep changing their exit nodes reasonably regularly, I'd assume, because I feel like that would be something that any geo-fenced, certainly video player, is
It'd be
interested in, restricting that access.
It would be really interesting to know what is involved. Like, can the BBC just be like, okay, well, we know where all the big data centers are, and we know that the VPNs have to be in those data centers. I'm putting this in the wrong way round, which is why it's fighting me.
Why won't you get in the hole?
This is why you don't force connectors, everyone, because you might just be doing it wrong. All right.
Can they just block all of the big data centers?
Yeah. I don't know. Can they? Right.
I don't know.
It doesn't feel right.
So I presume there would be significant collateral on that. Otherwise, they would have done it. But I don't know.
Yeah. Is there any reason for a legitimate iPlayer viewer to be coming out from a data center? You know, there's a. Okay, I need to adjust this. I'm going to reroute the USB 3 cable because it's horrid.
I guess it becomes difficult on kind of a case of, I don't know exactly how it works, but what if that effectively data center IP address is actually the final IP address of an ISP, and everyone on that ISP is now blocked?
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why IP blocking is a bit sketch, you know. It's, you know, IP blocking has been considered non-viable for a long time, but then, you know, there must be some of it at play.
Yeah. Interestingly, apparently I say, because I haven't seen any real evidence of this, but on Discord servers of a certain size, you can also block a user's IP address.
Interesting. Yeah, so like, how does that work? Because like residential people, which is what most Discord users are going to be, they're all going to be on dynamic IPs. They just reboot their router, bang, new IP address.
Yeah.
Like certainly, you know, anyone on, for example, I'm on BT at home and here, and I have a dynamic IP address. Every time my router restarts, my IP changes.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why IP tracing is just not a thing. Everyone's just like, oh, I traced his IP, so I know where he is. It's like, okay, you restart the router, their IP has now changed, you know.
Yeah.
Power.
But yes, it's yeah, I'm not sure. I have seen no evidence of this, but it was mentioned a couple of times in a couple of larger Discords that I happen to be in.
Yeah.
Like, these were like 15,000 user plus ones.
Yeah.
But it was just a case where I was just like, right. But then apparently it checks the IP address against the banned list of IP addresses whenever an account tries to join the server. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
So then I join on a different IP address, and then you never check again.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can't see how that's useful because, like, sure, right, CPU fan, there we go, pump, CPU fan, option, yeah, because, my brain is mush today. Yeah, because I was going to say maybe that's there just like a last-ditch effort for someone who's just got to resist a spam attack where someone has 1 million sock puppet accounts. So you just ban their IP, but again, just the same thing happens. Okay, they reboot their router and continue their attack.
But it's also a case of why would any of that be happening from their IP address?
Yeah, that's also true.
You'd be using 1 million of other accounts.
You'd be using a VPN, and yeah.
You'd be using a bunch of compromised other devices to send the requests via.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need a VPN for that.
There we go.
Because, you wouldn't need a traditional VPN service because you'd just be using compromised endpoint devices anyway. So
yeah,
it just seems like a weird. It seems like a weird thing. Again, as I said, if true, because I never saw any evidence of it.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Right, that feeds into there.
Yeah, but I can at the same time, Discord's rules for reducing, obviously, sort of raiding and things like that seem to have come on reasonably far in the past 12 months.
I've not seen.
And certainly one of the things of just pausing the, and just pausing the ability for people to join the server via any invite link, but still have that invite link exist in the future.
That's been gold, yeah.
Is very good.
Yeah, because like that's the main thing you like. It's been a very long time since I've seen a Discord raid happen. I have seen them happen in the past, but like years ago. And the biggest tool that I have always wanted implementing that was always surprisingly difficult to do is just simply a lockdown button. It's just there is a raid going on. I need to lock the server down that prevents people from joining without nuking all of my invite links, just so I can stop the inrush and deal with the people that are already here. It's usually not particularly difficult to just kick ban the raiders that are already in the room. The issue is people rejoining or more coming in.
Yeah.
And just simply having the ability to stop the initial inrush, that's the primary thing you need. That's been implemented, which is pretty good. But again, as I say, I don't really see Discord raids happening very much these days. I don't know if it's still a thing. I mean, I guess it must be if they're implementing tools for it, but yeah. Okay. Plugging stuff in.
Yeah. Obviously, it's also a case of, I would imagine that it only really affects certain communities.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. And to a degree, any communities that we're involved with probably don't experience it.
Right.
It's also a case of, I guess, to a degree, just not being large enough.
Yeah.
Whilst being, 100,000 subscribers plus sort of thing, the Discord's still only at 3,000 members.
The Discord's still fairly quiet.
And of that, it's only something like 135 active members. So yeah.
All right. Graphics card. Did you see the graphics cards or I think they're over here? Yes, no. Where? There they are. I went through a kaleidoscope of emotions during that moment.
At some point, there will be an end to a sentence. There will be a full sentence issued.
I'll end your sentence in a minute.
Okay. You'll set me free.
I don't understand that reference.
It's not a reference.
Okay.
It's if I have been sentenced.
I see.
And you are ending my sentence. I have been set free. Also, do you need to install the SSD before you install the graphics card?
Yes.
Do you also need to screw this in before you install the graphics card?
I was planning on doing all of those things
very well
after I installed the graphics card.
Yes. I will grab the knife and I will keep the sharps away from Graham.
Thanks.
I understand it's been a stressful day. Oh, I don't like that.
Oops. Oh, I just dropped a screw. Damn it. Oh no.
I don't like that at all.
What don't you like?
This SSD. It's a 2 terabyte Western Digital Black, and it's only got a single module.
That's depressing. Yeah, I saw those. And I was like, oh yeah, WD Black, that will be fine.
Yeah, the SN700 is absolutely fine. It's good, but it's just the fact that I was just like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, that standoff needs moving.
Then it will be moved. Are you trying to hustle me out from doing work?
No. I'm just, making sure that's done properly.
A singular chip.
I am. Moving over here. Goodbye. Yes.
Oh, I need a smaller screwdriver.
Graham is giving Caradog his socks. I'm not a house elf, you impertinent twerp.
I don't know what's happening.
No, Jerry said Graham is giving Caradog his socks, which I only took to be a reference to being of Harry Potter and...
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay, right. That goes there. That goes there.
Do I hoard tech? Kind of. Slightly. I will neither confirm nor deny.
But if you'd like to buy things, there are a variety of things on sale in the Discord right now.
Absolutely. The answer to the question of do I hoard tech entirely depends on whether you read the for sale channel.
Is it still hoarding if you're trying to sell it, though?
I'm not sure.
I would contend no.
Yes. I approximately have a lot.
Yeah. I think the definition of hoard is, are you trying to be rid of it or not as well? Because it's like we mentioned last week, there was a reference. Oh no, the screw that I picked up off the floor is just for something else entirely. Last week there was a brief conversation about me having so much crap here in the shop. And I'm like, yes, but that's not willingly though. If I could make it all disappear in an instant, I would.
Oh no. Steve Higgins. I hoard the wrong old tech. Binned my Amiga 1000 years ago, but inexplicably still have a bunch of 3.5-inch floppy drives.
Oh no.
Yes.
Right. Sussada fitted. Gupayu going in.
Have you also put the silly metal thing in?
I've put the silly things on.
Good. The bits and bobs have been bitted
the bobs and
bobbed.
bits. Yep. That goes there. Need to find another blanking plate for this guy, which I might not do now because I'll have to. I'm just going to check if there's one right here.
There was a grey one. Are you going to put an adamant? Are you going to put an adamant IT one in it?
I could do actually. Yeah. Have you seen them? They were close by. They were floating around over here. Here they are.
Oh, I thought they were there.
Yeah, we could put an ad. I need to double check in with his name's gone straight out of my head. It begins with N.
Nico. There you go.
Yeah.
I was maybe.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
Maybe. I don't know. I was searching, kind of hoping, and I was like, wait, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to check in because he designed these, and I need to get the STLs from him so I can make more. because they're super cool. Yeah, we'll stick one in there. So these are official Adamant IT 3D printed PCI blanking plates. They're really cool.
Are you going to put it above the GPU?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's tough. It's more visible above. I think it's subtler if you put it down low, but it's...
The point is for it to be visible, surely.
Yeah, I don't want it to be in your face. I want it to be just a subtle signature for someone who is looking
Why,
close.
are you going to mount RGB LEDs to it? That would be in your face.
No.
Then it's fine.
All right, I'll put it high then, you know.
You could, it's okay. You could be like PC specialist and have a case badge on the front of the case.
That's true, yeah. They're a real company, though. Right. Right. Due to popular demand, we're putting it up high.
Due to unreasonable demands.
Overwhelming majority of Caradog.
I'm not even certain what that implies. However, an overwhelming majority of Caradog agrees with this argument. And you will be boiled.
This democracy is based on voting power, not number of votes.
This is a democracy. There is a vote. I vote.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Folding Ideas lately. And Folding Ideas, or Dan Olsen, is the guy who did Line Goes Up, The Problem with NFTs. And he's so good. He's done a lot of stuff lately, including one about Decentraland, which was the crypto metaverse per se, which has the most incredibly terrible governance system ever that is riddled with just bureaucracy, red tape, and again, because it's based on a DAO where owning the crypto token entitles you to voting power. However, there's like a couple of accounts that belonging to one person that constitute a majority of voting power.
Yes.
So they can have like 70% of the people said yes to this, and then like these 4 whale wallets just go no and override everything. And it's just like, and sometimes that's good and sometimes that's bad.
It's called democracy, Graham.
Yeah. But yeah, as I say, Dan Olsen, Folding Ideas, he's just done amazing documentaries into this stuff.
I mean, don't come at me if my terminology is entirely wrong, but that just sounds like a super PAC.
Yes, pretty much.
Anyway.
Yeah. And he's just released one called This Is Financial Advice, which is about, meme stocks and Superstonk and the GameStop saga.
Right.
Which is where...
To a limited degree, however, yes.
In a freak occurrence, a bunch of people from like Wall Street Bets, etc., all bought GameStop to trigger a short squeeze.
Yes, because someone noticed it was massively overshorted.
Yeah.
They basically posted on Wall Street Bets
That's right.
about it being massively overshorted.
Yeah. It went viral, and there was a big old short squeeze and stuff like that. There's more to it than that, but it was that occurrence. His most recent video of that, called This Is Financial Advice, it covers the brief history of what happened there, but also, more importantly, what happened after it.
Because hands.
Because a lot of people, myself included, thought that was a thing that happened, and then that was the end of it.
No, it's still happening.
And
still going on.
They call themselves apes, and
yes,
it's astonishing.
Ape strong.
It's astonishing. I had no idea it was a thing, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Diamond hands.
Moas, what are you doing?
There is no cell.
Yeah. What? It's 2.5 hours, but trust me, it's 2.5 hours well spent. You will be watching this being like, what are they doing? You know? absolutely amazing.
Yes, but yeah, all I know about it is from seeing the posts hit Reddit front page, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that's my level of knowledge. But just yes, and also the fact of, as far as I can understand, the person who owned the subreddit, or was like chief mod of the subreddit or something,
Yeah.
is being investigated for insider trading
I see.
by the
SEC.
SEC,
Yeah.
and he's just like, I remember watching the first deposition, and he absolutely blew them out the water. It was just like, no. Look, here is the timeline, and everyone was just silent, kind of thing. It was just like, shit.
Yeah. That would have been Roaring Kitty.
Yeah.
And yeah, that his story is covered in this video, where he was legitimately just in at the right time. Like he predicted it. Well, he predicted GameStop for the wrong reasons. He predicted it because he had sound reasoning for investing in them, because he could see that GameStop, like this is pre-pandemic, GameStop tends to go up in value at the beginning of a release cycle of a new generation of consoles. And he was looking at GameStop going, hey, they're kind of running a bit low at the moment. And historically, their stock goes up in value when a new console generation comes out. And, you know, times are different and brick and mortar is dying. But even still, even if it doesn't go up as much as it usually does, there's still a very good chance that it's going to go up and so on. So he was investing into them and saying to other people that it seemed like a good investment. But then the problem is when meme stocks occurred and it went sky high and through the roof, obviously he got off with bank. He walked away with like tens of millions of dollars. But because he was legit and just was in the right place at the right time, they couldn't touch him because, you know, he was actually a legitimate investor.
Yeah. But it was also lots of the other claims as well were just stuff like the Robinhood platform, stopping people from trading those specific stocks.
That bit was really interesting because
stopping trading those specific stocks, and Robinhood being owned by specific hedge funds that were the ones that were massively overshorted. And it was just like, funny.
Well, that's the interesting thing because in This Is Financial Advice, Dan Olson actually doesn't put the needles to Robinhood because, and I don't know if he's right or wrong about this, but he also pointed out the fact that the way Robinhood works is that they, I can't remember the correct term for it is, but the idea is that you put money into the Robinhood app, but obviously it takes time for that money to reach Robinhood. And while that money gets to Robinhood, they buy stocks with their own money in lieu of the money clearing. And the issue is that when the big short actually happened, you had hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of new users suddenly installing the app and buying a massively overpriced stock at $400 a share. And they need to have the liquid on hand to buy those shares up front until that capital comes in. And suddenly there was a lot of people coming in and just essentially borrowing, making a very short-term borrow. There was there's an argument to be made that Robinhood were looking at this being like, we can't front this much money to this many people. So we're going to say, no, you can't buy this. To put the brakes on that, and people said, have they got a liquidity problem? To which they said no, but actually yes, it was a liquidity problem because if you're a money lender and suddenly 1 million people want to borrow money from you at the same time, it's like, well, I don't have that much money to lend, so no, I won't lend to you, and so that is a liquidity problem, not because I'm about to go bust, but just simply because I can't lend money to that many people at a time. which I think was an interesting standpoint.
Absolutely. It was a case of, again, based off of Reddit posting and nothing else.
Yeah.
It was also the fact of it was the only stock that you weren't able to trade.
Yeah, I think it's because that was the one that was going viral.
But it was a case of that was the only stock that wasn't able to be traded. So you could take a loan on another stock of the same value. Therefore, it's not a liquidity question, it's a that stock question. And why are you stopping trading of that stock when you happen to be owned by companies that are losing money by people buying this stock?
Yeah, I'd agree.
That's where it becomes more of a question of, were comments and questions made? Was pressure applied from parent companies? Yeah,
I think that might be the case. Although it's interesting because, you know, like Melvin Capital, which was the original hedge fund that was shorting GameStop, they ate dirt and and had to be bailed out anyway. Yeah. So even though that happened, it still didn't actually fix anything.
Yeah, and it's still
for them. You know?
And it's still also just a case of kind of the fact of these institutions got bailed out with taxpayers' money, kind of thing. But you know, that's an entirely different conversation about...
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, about socialising losses and privatising gains.
Yeah. Okay, right. That's all plugged in. I'm going to wipe down this dust filter, which I blew out, but compressed air doesn't do the entire job. And then I think that's this one built.
Makes it dramatically less horrifying.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just a bit of surface dust on this one where it's just been sitting around.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, I meant just blowing it out. Obviously
I see,
makes
yes.
the more dramatically less horrifying, so when you actually start wiping stuff, you're not kind of going, clods!
Yes.
Clods everywhere.
Yes, start with compressed air, finish with a cloth, is what I do. Good, right, I'd say that's built, and that looks pretty smart, I think. I was a bit worried that, you know, this cooler looks a little bit weedy in a computer that we wanted to look fairly strong, but because it's a small case, it fills it up in a pleasing way, I think.
Yeah.
Good. As a special treat, I might have the side panel for it somewhere.
Yes, you do. Oh, I placed it there.
There's one down there.
There's one over there.
Yep, oh, I might have moved it. Yep.
Someone moved it at some point,
yes,
however.
I must have moved it over here to be like, I'll put it over here. That'll do.
Ta-da!
Okay. Right.
You only have one screw.
That'll hold it in, right? I've probably got at least... I do actually need to find... There are...
In my drinks.
Hold on, let me get my cup of screws.
If you go forwards, you'll be in frame. Hide the crimes.
Right. I'm just going to grab one more because I'm not going to fish through this for the next 20 minutes because we have low standards here, but I have limits.
My expectations were low, but Jesus Christ.
There we go.
Let you clean the glass at some point.
Yeah, I'll...
And all of such touching up.
Yeah.
However...
I'll do the finishing touches off stream because...
yeah,
we don't need to watch me spend 15 minutes detailing this case.
We just need a back panel now.
Yeah. Right, back panel... Ooh, I'm not
What's
sure.
That? Oh no, that's a glass one.
Yeah. I'm going to check one place where I think it might be. Try not to make noises into microphone.
Clatter, clatter, clatter. Oh, what about this one? How's this one do?
That looks like it. Yep, I was going to say, I think this is for the 275R. Huzzah. Oh, I'm micromanaging. I've got an awful habit of trying to help with things that don't require help.
Okay. Computer.
Huzzah! Okay, yeah. We'll do a power on test. One of those.
Ta-da!
There we go.
Did it come with 4 fans out of the box?
No, I've just accumulated additional fans over time. The 220T comes with 3 at the front and no back fan by default. But I've just accumulated additional fans over time, so I could just put, like, I think I bought like just a couple of loose ones on eBay just so I could put one at the back of cases and stuff. Right, the monitor has woken up. I think it's RAM training.
There you go.
There we go. New CPU
I
installed.
misread that as no CPU installed. I was like, hold on a moment.
That would be quite a trick.
There you go.
Purple Rain. Yes, so this RGB controller, the last time it was set up, well, the way I previously had this case was it was on purple, and I had an infinity loop in red on it. So purple wash lighting, and then there's a red line that does an infinity pattern through the fans continuously, but that doesn't kick in until IQ is running. So it's just going to do purple for now, but it shows that the RGB is hooked up and working. So yeah, getting sick of ads through the live stream. Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm not going to keep that on, because this test has proven what I wanted to know was, would mid-rolls piss everyone off? And the answer is a resounding yes. I suspected that would be the case, but now I've actually put it to the test. So yeah. So yes, apologies for the mid-rolls. I wanted to run a test. The test has been run. What if there's loads of money? Not for this kickback. Even if there was, even if the stream ran like double or triple the ad revenue we would normally get, that's not worth the amount that it's annoying people. Because yeah, I've been, you know, whenever, because I keep half an eye on the chat, and I have seen people going, another advert kind of thing, and I'm like, this is annoying people. Message received, you know. But that's why you've got to test stuff now and then to see how it actually shakes out in real life. Not because that's what you're actually going to do, but because you've got to actually confirm a theory. Theory is confirmed. Don't mind ads at the beginning, at the end. Yeah, start and finish ads, agreed. Mid-rolls are the ones that people don't like, and yeah. And for the amount of ad revenue that the podcast generates, even doubling it would not be worth the hassle. Like doubling, let's pretend that an episode of the podcast made £100. Doubling that to £200 would kind of be a big deal. However, the podcast gets like $10 or something like that, I think it is, if that. So like doubling that to $20, I'm just like, $10 isn't worth alienating half your audience, you know. So yeah, dude's entitled to earn some cash. Yeah, absolutely, I am entitled to earn some money, but there is a balance, and there is, it's in my interest to strike a balance, you know. While it is reasonable to say I'm entitled to earn revenue, that doesn't mean that I get to just do really obnoxious adverts and tell everyone what to sod off when the adverts are obnoxious. That's not cool either. So
that's dangerous. There was the plastic filmy thing from a keyboard, and it was incredibly slippy.
Yeah, Corsair LL120 fans are the best. Yeah, the light loops are nice. The SP120s that we've got in that, no, they're okay. I mean, they come free with the case, you know. And light loops are cheap enough now that if you're buying fans, I would definitely get light loops. However, the 220T, when that was, well, and still is out, you buy that and it's about 80 quid and you get 3 SP120 fans and an IQ controller and the case for £80, which, as far as Corsair goes, is astonishingly good value for money. Right. Oh my god. We're getting a jungle drum beat over there, yeah. Right, I think we're
just going to blow this out.
Oh right, yeah. I was going to say, I think we're pulling out all the RGB fans of this one. Although, considering we've got, because I don't have a controller for them, is the problem there. So yeah, This one is a contender for putting the Lianli fans in. So yeah. All right. Think I'm a little late to the party. Yes. We've got one more to do. We're going to try and bust through one more and then we're done, I think. Please show the logo on the back. Of the SP120s, I can't. Of these fans, these ones are also SP120s. There are two main types. Logo on the back of which one? Sorry, just to confirm. Thanks. Best BB case now? Best what kind of case, sorry? Torture viewers with zillions of ads and offer a subscription to shorten them. Yeah, it depends. It depends. At the end of the day, you're buying a product, you're buying content. So that's the thing. It's very difficult to have this conversation in a reasonable manner because, like, I've seen lots of people saying that YouTube are all greedy bastards and stuff like that. But a lot of people that are all saying that YouTube are greedy bastards, you know. Now, I'm not trying to accuse anyone specifically of this, but it begs the question: are you entitled to free videos from YouTube? Someone has to pay, right? You know, so that's what makes this conversation very difficult to be had, because at the end of the day, we're trying to strike a balance. We're trying to find a compromise of something of stuff costing money versus not being annoying, basically. And at the end of the day, essentially what YouTube are saying is, like, you're paying by watching adverts or you're paying with money. Take your pick. You know, if you find the adverts annoying, well, you can pay with money and then you don't have to watch adverts, you know. But at the same time, there is such a thing as obnoxious advertising, which I think is not cool, you know. Web 2.0 spoiled everyone with free service. Yeah, to an extent, yeah. RGB not so good on the SP120. It depends. There are two types of SP120, and the Corsair branding on them is very inconsistent. The SP120s on that 220T are the 8 LED versions, which are fine, whereas there is an SP120 which only has 4 LEDs on it. And I'm not sure why Corsair bothered to make them. The 4 LED SP120s are terrible, and I don't like them at all. They're pretty bad. Is 13 quid a month a good balance? No, I think I've already spoken about this stream. I think YouTube Premium is too expensive unless you're on a family plan. The family plan is the only way where YouTube Premium makes sense to me. I cancelled mine, and then I was offered to get in on a family plan. So yeah.
What the hell is this? Oh god! Oh, there's a fan up there as well. Right.
The other thing that's...
I thought these cables were this fan, and I was like, the fan's already over here. What on earth?
The other thing that's occurred to me as well is some people are saying sort of... it sounds like people, when they get an advert, just miss the content that occurs during the advert. And that immediately says that having the automatic placed adverts is a terrible idea. Because if you place them manually, at least you can time them with a tea break for the actual show. You can say, like, sort of, okay, we're gonna go to the bathroom and get a cup of coffee. Here's an advert, kind of thing. I think that would be a much better way of doing it. That would be one of the ways in which, if hypothetically we had to do mid-rolls to make ends meet or something like that, that would be a way of doing it in a good way. Is we would actually schedule in ad breaks into the show where we actually stop for 2 minutes while an advert runs or something. That would be a good way of doing it. What I've implemented today is the worst case scenario, because I wanted to see what the worst case scenario looks like, for better or for worse, because the worst case scenario is you guys are having the worst experience, and I will see the maximum possible revenue. So this means I can see, for giving you guys the worst possible experience, how much that would actually be worth. And we'll find out next week. For the number of hours you watch YouTube, the premium rate is quite competitive. Yeah.
I think that's the thing that people it leads into the argument as well as about the cost of video games.
Yeah.
And the number of people who say that video games cost too much. But then I'm also like, yeah, but they're 110 hours of content.
Yeah.
So if it's 60 quid for 110 hours,
that's
you're
not
at less
bad.
than £6 an hour.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And if you're saying, well, that's more than I earn,
yeah,
you have a significant problem because that's half minimum wage.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Well, not quite.
Yeah, well, it'll be 60p per hour if you're 100 hours at 60 for 60 quid.
Yeah, sorry, so, yeah. I meant to say that rate is less than a tenth of minimum wage.
Oh, yes.
Is what I meant to say. I messed up my ordering of the words there.
Yeah.
In the sense of, if you think that a game developer isn't worth a tenth of minimum wage per hour,
yeah,
kind of thing. So it's
yeah.
But then obviously it leads into my secondary conversation about the fact of make games 50 hours shorter.
Yeah. I think the other, because also a lot of games that say sort of, well, there's 100 hours of content in here. A lot of that is half of that arguably is padding, but obviously that depends on the game. The other thing I was going to say regarding like YouTube Premium and like, oh, I watch enough YouTube to make that worthwhile. That may be, but I think one of the problems is the fact that everything requires a subscription these days, and £14 for YouTube Premium in a vacuum might seem reasonable, but when we're also paying, a tenner a month for Discord Premium, because I use Discord enough that I think that's worth paying money for their service, because there's no adverts or anything like that. Or I also pay for, I've got Netflix as well, or I'm paying my internet as well, and suddenly before you know it, you're getting annihilated through subscription services. So, it begs the question, do we need to make a collective effort for all subscriptions to be cheaper so we can afford more things, rather than forcing people to specialize in having just one thing, because that takes up their amount of budget, And I'm not saying for or against that, I'm just saying this is a problem kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know at all, because the counter argument is, certainly at least on the YouTube Premium and Discord side, is then use the free version.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Discord is an interesting one, because a free user, a free user still doesn't see adverts. Discord is just selling. Discord sells gimmicks to justify their subscription, and I value a couple of those gimmicks. And because I use Discord such an amount, I'm just like, like the gimmicks themselves are not worth the subscription fee, but I'll pay a bit extra anyway, just because. I believe in Discord as a product, that much being said, I'm only on their basic rate. I'm on like Discord. I have Discord Classic, which is just allows you to use extra emotes and stuff like that, which is like $5 a month or something. $10 to $12 a month. No, I don't think that's worth it at all, personally, for gimmicks. And once again, it's also the issue of, there are so many subscription services where they're like between $10 and $15 a month. I'm like, if you made it like $5 or $6, I'd say that's worthwhile. But $10 to $15 a month, that's quite a commitment. You've got to really want that for that to be worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, I think the difference for me is just the fact of how few services I actually use. I use YouTube and I use Discord.
Yeah, so that would be 2 subscriptions, which is tolerable.
And I'm actually trying to think of anything else I use.
I think Twitch subscriptions are a big killer for a lot of people as well.
Oh yeah, Twitch. That's a good point.
Yeah, how many channels do you subscribe to on Twitch? Because those can add up real quick if you're not careful. This is one of the reasons why I'm always on the fence. Like, I'm always super grateful of people who subscribe to me on Twitch, but Twitch subscriptions, they're a hard sell, because if you've got just 5 channels that you really enjoy watching on Twitch, and you think they're all worth a Prime subscription, that's 25 quid a month on Twitch you're spending.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's a tough sell, in my opinion, you know.
Yeah. I mean, again, for me it was a non-consideration, because just when everyone switched over to Twitch from
Mixer,
I just bought a year-long tier 3 subscription to everyone.
Yeah.
It was like,
fair enough.
Because it was a case of it was functionally a case of I could buy a year's worth of T3
Yeah.
for basically the same price as paying monthly for T1.
Interesting.
So I was like,
because I saw you doing that a couple of times. I'm just like, oh wow, yeah, sure, okay, you know.
It's
interesting that you actually crunched the numbers on that and was just like, I'm like, oh yeah.
Because buying it in a year, at the times I was doing it, they were giving you an 80% discount or something like that for a year.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to buy a year at T3 and functionally pay the same amount as a year of T1 just on a monthly basis.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But the creator still, as far as I can tell, gets the same amount of money from that subscription.
Yeah.
Because that's why I was asking you so much about the Twitch money on the subscriptions and stuff, to see if they were doing different tiers of the same tier.
Yes. Yeah.
And they don't seem to.
Yeah.
So if you get a special deal from Twitch buying a subscription, Twitch eats the difference.
Yeah. Interesting.
So yeah. So it's just kind of, But obviously it's the case of, you know, the long-standing comment of it's expensive being poor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have the ability to go, I'm going to pay £100 to subscribe for you for a year.
Because you have enough money to be able to save that money.
I have enough money to save money.
Yeah.
I have enough money to go, I'm going to spend £150 on these shoes.
Yeah.
And wear them for 8 years.
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know,
social commentary.
It's expensive being poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't begrudge people for it in the slightest.
Yeah, it's a trap. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jason said, I think YouTube Premium at its current price should allow you to pick a certain number of creators to give a bit more of your subscription to. I mean, technically, you're already doing that by virtue of what you watch. Although, I guess it would be interesting if you could, although it would be nice if you could omit stuff that you don't particularly, A part of me is tempted to be like, well, that's already done because the revenue goes to who you're, well, no, I don't know if it does. If I took out a YouTube Premium subscription and only ever watched a single channel, would all of the creator share of my subscription go to that channel? I don't know the answer to that question. Oh no. That standoff has to go under the motherboard there.
Yeah.
Out it comes!
I was working that out and I was just like, I see. Does it have to?
Yes. Actually.
No, it does, doesn't it? Because this doesn't have a screw to go into.
Yeah, that one
unless
goes,
you have another one of these.
That specific standoff goes under the motherboard there. Oh, wait, no.
No.
No. Yeah,
I was just working out how you could do it, and you can't, is the answer. You cannot fashion a way to do that. You have to put that under the board.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes,
fine.
You have looked and you have seen. Yep, very good. All right, that's fine.
It seems like a really dumb way of doing it.
Yeah, this is the only board I've seen that's done this, and it's the board that I can't get rid of, so it keeps coming back to bite me.
Oh god, it's X570 as well.
Yeah.
I could understand if it was a B450 board or something, like first gen.
Yeah. Nope.
Like first gen M.2. But no. Yeah. I mean, to continue the thing you're saying about subscription costs, it's kind of a case of, you know what the solution to that is? Suitable remuneration for hours worked. But that
I see, yes. Yeah. Sigh. Right, this computer is going to need... This computer is going to need a CPU cooler.
Yes.
I might quickly grab the Dremel and just quickly drill out these holes.
Oh, I see. When you said drill them out, I assumed you meant with a big screwdriver and a screw.
No, that won't work. I have tried that before. Trying to self-tap through a 3D printed thing is not fun and does not work very well.
Come off.
Okay, right. I'm going to quickly grab the thing and do things and stuff. Not necessarily in that order.
I may actually do things and stuff and then grab a thing. It will be most confusing.
Oh no! Oh well, never mind. I just dinked the cut-off disc that was on the Dremel and it snaps. So I'm just like, welp. I only have a box of those, so.
I only have a box of 1,000 of these.
Right.
Oh, and it's a special locating one as well. I'm going to move it.
Yeah, yes, that's a good idea, yeah.
I'm also going to make use of the special driver.
Ah, yes, yes.
Be like, look at me with my professional tools.
Professional?
I will have you know, I am a professional tool.
Right. I'm going to completely eyeball how big this hole needs to be.
Does it not need to be sub 3 millimeters?
Yeah, it needs to be thinner than I thought. I just pulled out some of these drill bits. I'm like, oh, those are way too big. How about that one? That's too small. Curses. Oops.
I thought that was me.
No.
So I accidentally stuck all the tools on the bench together at once, and then heard the clattering. Like, what have I done?
Tool zone.
Right.
I think these drill bits are, if these are the ones I think they are, they're genuinely awful. However, I'm drilling into plastic, so it shouldn't matter.
I'm drilling into plastic, so hopefully it works.
Oh, of course the one that I need is not there. That'll probably do it, actually. If I make a clean cut, that'll be alright. Let's try that on one hole and see how it goes.
I dislike this immensely.
Well, it doesn't like you either, so...
It's a stupid way of doing an M.2 cover.
It's a stupid M.2 cover. That's what you sound like.
Oh my god! How have I done this?
What's happened to you?
What? How is it in the wrong place? I put them in the wrong place!
Yeah.
That's why I was like, how have I done this?
See, yeah.
Looks like I put them both in the wrong place.
Yeah. You absolute buffoon. Okay, right. Now I can annoy all of the tool fanatics by calling this my pillar drill. Or my drill press. Is a drill press and a pillar drill the same thing?
This is my pillock drill. It drills pillocks.
Whoops. Oh no, it's too small for the thing. Oh heck. Alright, I'm putting in the small one and I'm hoping it's going to widen out.
The small one with special tape.
High-speed tape.
I'll have you know this is my speed tape.
Makes it go faster. Let's see. Orange said, just built a PC for my son. Corsair 4000X RGB with Prime Z490A Wi-Fi, 980 Pro, i5 13500, 1000 watt power supply.
What?
What GPU?
How? Or did I mishear what you said?
900 quid.
I misheard what you said. That's
okay.
fine.
I was going to say, what? That's not too offensive.
I heard you say a Prime Z980. I
see.
But how?
Oh, if I did say that, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, that sounds cool. While we're on the subject, how about that 14th Gen A? That went well, didn't it?
It looks good for everyone who is an extreme overclocker.
Okay, is it doing okay on that front? Because I'd heard that the memory controller was disappointing everyone in that it just wasn't really an improvement.
Apparently, it is of interest to extreme overclockers.
I see. Yes. For everyone else, no, don't buy it.
For everyone else, buy it if it's the same price as 13th Gen.
Yeah.
Ah!
One moment, everyone. I'm going to mute while I drill a hole. It made a funny noise, and Caradog did a laugh. All right, a hole has been drolled. I'm going to tap this one out and just see how that works out, because if that works, then we have a cooler for this computer. If it doesn't work, then I don't have a cooler for this computer.
And this computer will not be cool.
It'll be pretty uncool.
And that's no good.
That makes me want to tell people about another video I watched, but it's not relevant to anyone's interest. I watched a documentary video about the unmade third season of
you actually
Sonic the Hedgehog Sat AM. Yeah, very interesting video. If you're interested in Sonic Sat AM, one of the old Sonic cartoons. If you're not interested in that, then it's not an interesting video.
Wasn't it like 3 hours long?
Yeah, it was heckin' long. I think it wasn't a perfect. If I'm going to comment on the video itself, it wasn't perfect. There was a lot of stuff that I think I think he should have been more aggressive with the editing. I hate tapping stuff. But on the whole, though, it did tell a very interesting story that I didn't know existed. And I think sometimes that's the best kind of video to watch, is a video about a subject that you're interested in, that tells you a story you didn't know existed. This tap is not going very well.
Are we going to use the System Power 10 in this?
We can do so. Yes, because I don't think it's worth putting a kilowatt power supply in there. So yes, put one of those in there.
So the other option is the 650, whatever it is.
Oh, this is
RM650X, but that requires you to actually find the cables.
Yeah. What the hell is going on with this tap? Come on.
This isn't a seal. It's a piece of tape. Ah.
Right, come on, tap. Work with me here. This tap is drilling a hole instead of actually just picking up a thread.
Is it because the tap is in fact incredibly blunt and very old?
It works well enough in metal.
Yes.
I think it's just because I'm wobbling too much, but usually once you get going... Oh, there we go. I think it's starting to pick up now.
Oh, is this fully modular?
It shouldn't be, no.
No.
It would be awesome if it was, but... Oh, my days, come on.
Oh, it is entirely not modular in the slightest.
No. However, it was... these System Power 10s were about £50, £55, something like that.
Yeah, I guess.
And it was, yeah. it was kind of a case of like, I didn't really want to spend 60, 70 pounds on a power supply for these computers.
Yeah, I'd have bought the EVGAs off of Scan, personally.
I think I agree with that. I think I should have just bought from Scan. Oh, my days. I should have put this in a vice.
$24.
I think I'm gonna have to back that out and see if that's actually working. No, that is not working.
CPU?
Actually, it might be. I think it just needs backing out.
GPU?
Up, up.
All of the other bits we don't need. Minecraft villager noises. I'm going to get a screw and just see if that's actually worked. Yes.
No, that is broken. It would have worked. I just didn't tap it properly and now I've broken it. Yeah. Nope, that's unfortunate. So on my AM4 bracket, I've just tried to tap one of these posts, but because I wasn't holding it straight, it's just broken the post basically. So if I did that properly and like viced it up and like more carefully tapped it, that's definitely possible. However, that one is no good.
Do we have a hole? We have a hole.
So the cooler that I was going to put in this case is this. I forget the brand. I forget the name of this one, but it's an Air-cooled tower cooler, and it's all right. This cooler. However, I'm missing the backplate for it, which is why I was trying to 3D print that one.
Oh dear.
It's very annoying because it's got the AM4 brackets on it, but the screws are metric thread, so they don't fit into the stock AM4 backplate, which is very annoying. Doo-doo. Plastic might be too soft. That might have been it as well, or at least not helping. I have managed to tap another thread, but that was with a much coarser thread than this one. Right, I shall lift that out of the way. What do you need?
I was just going to take the screws.
Oh, I see. Oh no, it's come with a European plug as well.
Straight into my e-waste.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing. I'm just like, that's basically e-waste.
Why is the power supply setting ever so slightly high?
Retap a standard backplate. The problem there is that the standard backplate is imperial, and the imperial thread is just a little bit wider than the metric one. So you could tap a metric into an imperial just with a bit of brute force and ignorance, but you can't tap a imperial into a metric because the hole is already too wide, so it just won't pick up. So that's unfortunate. Cut an old backplate into 4 pieces. Because I'm selling this computer, I kind of want to have a good solution on it. I mean, it doesn't have to be like factory perfect, you know, refurbished, but like a nicely 3D printed thing would have been a nice solution, because someone would look at that and be like, oh, that's not the original, but hey, someone's actually 3D printed a real spare part for that. So yeah, that's it. I think this will work. It just, I just didn't tap it out properly. I think the other thing as well is on the actual print, I didn't fill these holes properly. I very hastily just put a block fill in there, but I think when the slicer sliced it, it made it hollow because it saw a hollow space inside that thread. So I need to go back to the slicer and be like, don't make the inside of that post hollow, actually fill the whole thing with plastic. Maybe use a can of air upside down and get the plastic cold before tapping. Would that make a difference? I'm not sure how that would help personally. I mean, I guess it makes the plastic less soft, but I'm not sure if that would solve the issue. I think the main solution, I think the suggestions that I've made to myself would probably do the job, so I'll try those first. The other annoying thing is just it's really difficult to find new backplates like this on their own. Every time I've looked, you know, the prices have been, it's been the wrong thing, or the prices have been so high that I'm just like, I may as well just buy a whole new cooler, you know.
Oh, good.
AM4 solved a lot of headaches with standard backplates unless the cooler wants to use their own. Yeah, that's the most annoying thing about this AeroCool cooler. I was also kind of tempted to just rob some of the mounting screws from the water cooling AIO spare bits box and see if I could fit those.
And just make it have a normal...
Yeah, so it would just have normal screws on it. But then I thought of the 3D print idea and I was like, oh, that would be really slick if that works. This is exactly why I wanted a 3D printer, so I could do stuff like this. But just I haven't done this enough to be able to make stuff right first time yet. Everything I make still requires a couple of attempts to fettle it.
The cable, the EPS cable was a fraction too short for me to be able to wiggle it in. So I had to plug it in, then screw the power supply.
Very reasonable.
Because the cable is long enough, I just couldn't get the angle.
How about drilling but not tapping? So put the screw into the drilled hole. Yeah, and self-tap it. That might work. It might be worth me actually, like this one is, I've already broken a post, so this definitely needs to be reprinted and we don't have time to do that on stream. But while I'm, what I'll probably do actually is drill out another one and just test that to see if that's necessary, because you're right, self-tapping might be better. But then because that screw will fight, I may end up just drilling the hole wider with the screw, because it's not cutting a hole through, it's just digging out material, which is the danger of doing that.
There's the SSD.
A pre-tapped insert sounds the best. That's the other alternative, but where am I going to find that is the problem there. The issue is, of course, is that the screws that are going in are fixed on here and are spring-loaded, so they will be providing a large amount of tension. That's the other sticking point of this, is that I don't know if this will even be able to hold the screw under that level of tension. Yeah, but now I've got to find brass inserts, and I've got to make them fit into there, and then make it not rip those out, and just... We're spending a lot of time trying to home-make a part, which... you know, we're getting past the point of, is this worth the amount of trouble you're going through for it now? They sell brass inserts for 3D printing? Probably, but, you know, again, we're starting to put in a large level of design work into a product that already exists. I just don't want to buy one, kind of thing. Drill through the bracket and fit the nut. That, I think, would be a valid option, is to just drill a hole all the way through and put a nut on the other side. But that now brings in the issue that these screws aren't long enough. So now I'd have to replace these screws. And if I'm replacing these screws, then I may as well replace them with Imperial ones and just go straight into an AMD backplate.
I don't understand how this works.
Okay, let's swap places.
How does any of this screw in? Because there's nothing for that to screw into.
Let's have a look.
Because if the standoff's underneath the motherboard, what does it screw into?
Right. It looks like the standoff doesn't go in underneath the motherboard, and it would have actually just gone in. Which I know is not what I said, but that's what it looks like now I'm actually looking at it. I'll just swap those around again a sec. Who put this here?
I thought you were going to try and stick that to the front of the light.
Change places. Her. Tag.
UK plugs and sockets are already at 13 amps. Hold on a minute. Yes. Pentiums? What? I'm seeing parts of conversations scroll off of the screen. I was just like, hold on a minute,
yeah,
what's going on here?
There's a conversation about UK plugs happening, but I hadn't been acknowledging it because I'm just like, okay.
Okay, cool, good.
We have plugs.
Yes.
You're valid, by the way, folks, you know, if you're in that conversation.
Yeah.
I just don't have anything to add to it.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Indeed. But anyway, as I saw someone mention Threadripper 7000.
Ah.
Yes. It looked good. And the price doesn't seem unreasonable. It's, I think...
It's $7,000.
I think it's £500 up on the top model and then £1,000 on the other ones.
£500 for a Threadripper?
No, an additional £500 over the 5000 series ones.
Oh, I see.
So the top non-pro is £5,000, I think. Then it goes from there. But it's just kind of a case of that's not bad.
Yeah, that just goes into the standoff.
But it's also a case of that's way more than I'm going to spend on anything.
Yeah, you gotta really need a Threadripper to go Threadripper.
But it's a case of it is certainly at least value for those who need it.
Yeah.
I'm interested in it as a platform, just because it seems to actually be a good platform. But purchasing it, no.
Yeah,
I have no requirement. If I need more performance at that number of cores, kind of thing, a 7950X is probably going to be enough for me.
Yeah, I don't do anything that benefits from HEDT, so it's very difficult for me to have a comment on it. And like, it's kind of similar to this is one of the other reasons why I keep finding myself wanting to learn a different video editing package such as DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
Just so I can actually get onto a platform where adding more horsepower would actually make a difference, because I edit in Magix Vegas, which just doesn't scale, and so for me, I mean, actually it does scale, it just doesn't scale well. But you know, like if I try to think of use cases for Threadripper, I think, well, you know, big YouTube channels like Jay's 2 Cents, for example. Phil from Jay's 2 Cents, he edits using a Threadripper workstation, and apparently that worked out really great for them. And it's like, oh, okay, so you know, Threadripper helps if you're doing really heavy-duty video editing. It's like, okay, well, at what point does that become? At what point does that become viable? You know.
I think it's also because they're using the Adobe program, whatever the Adobe program is.
Yeah, Premiere.
Yeah, Premiere.
Yeah, and After Effects and stuff like that. But I have not used either of those, so I don't know what kind of requirements they have.
Yeah, but it was a case of, I think, because they were using Premiere, they were seeing scaling on the Threadripper side of things. But it's kind of a case of, as far as I'm aware, for DaVinci Resolve, the scaling is more GPU side. Just because it is, GPU accelerated. But DaVinci Resolve certainly seems to be the favourite of the educational institutions at the moment, at the very least, for teaching people to edit stuff. Yeah,
I think that's just because the base program is free, which is the big selling point. And because, you know, the base program is free, but also you can edit at a professional level with Resolve. It makes it extremely attractive because you can learn a free program that will then be transferable to a professional level.
Yeah.
But I need to try Resolve again. The last time I looked at it, I couldn't get going on it, and I'm now thinking about it. I'm just like, what was my hang up there? You know, Was it really that difficult? It was. The issue was, it's just it had no ripple editing and it had no zoom, which is a selling point of it. And I'm like, but I like ripple and I like being able to zoom, and yeah, I couldn't understand it. It was very odd. Right, we've got no cooler going on there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Blackmagic, the cameras, and DaVinci Resolve and Fusion are the same company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought as much, but I was just like, oh,
yeah.
Not sure if completely wrong.
Resolve exists to sell Blackmagic hardware.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the reasons why Resolve can seem particularly dense to newcomers, is that if you're just using keyboard and mouse, the interface isn't very good, in my opinion. But if you have a Blackmagic editing desk and a mixing desk that works directly with Resolve, suddenly it all comes together, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And makes an awful lot more sense. But yeah, for me, where I have pretty basic editing needs, I found Resolve just very obtuse, and I just couldn't figure out how to do very basic things in it. But yeah, as I say, maybe I just need to go back and try it again. I think that I tried to use Resolve when I wasn't that far out from
iMovie.
Yeah, I wasn't that far out of iMovie when I tried to use it, and so I was kind of still getting used to Vegas as well. Whereas now I'm extremely comfortable in Vegas, it might be an easier time moving on to Resolve.
Yeah, as JD says, my limited sample size is, but everyone who's not getting free licensing for Premiere is using DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just having a quick scroll through the Blackmagic website, and I'd forgotten how agreeable the prices were for their cameras.
Yeah.
I realised they're lens only, but that's what all pro cameras are. But they were very agreeable pricing. So it was like, the 6K Pocket is something like £2,300, and I'm like, that's very agreeable for a pro grade 6K camera.
I wish, I wish Linus Tech Tips would do more videos on their production equipment, because like at one point I know that Linus splashed out on like a whole bunch of the Blackmagic 12K cameras. I think they were 12K, or 8K or something like that.
No, the red 12K cameras.
No, he already had reds, and then in more recent times he bought a whole bunch of Blackmagic ones that they were going to switch to. They were going to switch all of their production over to it, and then that just seemed to completely fizzle.
As far as I'm aware,
and I heard they'd sold them all off again.
Blackmagic don't even make a 12K camera.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they do.
Yeah, the Ursa, that was the one. Yep, it was the Ursa Mini. Yeah.
So that's an incredibly agreeable price, but I assume there's a whole bunch of add-ons that you have to buy for it.
Yeah, but I think at one point Linus bought like a bunch of them, and they were just going to change them all over there. But that seemed to fizzle out, and last I'd heard, he was just like, "Oh yeah, that didn't work out. We sold them all." But he never said why. He never explained what happened with that. Like, what was the problem? And I'm kind of curious as to what the story was there, because I think it's very interesting to learn about these. Because like, I'm not going to be getting any of these cameras anytime soon, but it would be interesting to learn about them, just so one day if I started getting to the point where I'm just like, I want to buy a prosumer camera, even, I might have a rough idea on what to be looking for and what to keep in mind.
Wow.
Right, audio up and over.
Oh, that's interesting.
What are you seeing?
The Ursa Mini Pro, for high frame rate stuff, as it's you can window the sensor to Super 16 to capture 4K at 240 FPS.
That's impressive. That's an impressive frame rate,
which is interesting. But it's just interesting that you have to window to Super 16 to do that.
What is Super 16?
It's talking about the equivalent sensor size to film. Because the sensor is a Super 35 sensor.
Yeah.
And it...
Oh, I see.
I need someone who actually knows about these to explain to me why these cameras are still in Super 35 when Super 35 is smaller than a full-frame 35mm sensor. So, like, that camera has a larger sensor.
Yeah.
And it has a larger sensor doing 4K. So it means, in theory, the 4K pixels are larger. So each 4K pixel is picking up slightly more actual quality and actual resolution.
You're getting more data out of the resolution per se.
Effectively, the actual resolution means something.
Yeah.
Whereas this is 12K at a slightly smaller sensor size, which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but then if you're under studio lighting and you've got unlimited light, then your sensor size is less important, because the idea of a big sensor means it can capture more light, which means it can work in more difficult situations.
But it also means that each pixel is actually a real pixel. True. Instead of being a blended pixel of two pixels on the sensor that were right next to each other that couldn't be separated because they're too small. Effectively, it makes the pixel a real pixel.
I see, yeah.
In the sense of it makes it real all the way down to the sensor because it's actually discerning a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of a comment is why Samsung saying that they've got 8K on their phone means absolutely nothing. Because the quality of that 8K is not actually 8K. If that makes sense, it's not. Each pixel is a separate pixel with a separate item of information in it because the sensor size is so small. But it's also a case of because the sensor is much larger, it also means that the focus is much different, and you just, to me at least, you get a much more pleasing focal effect. So yeah, so it's just interesting on there.
Right, resets, power, hutch,
CPUs are becoming stagnant and not worth upgrading. What?
Well, that's just a comment on 13th to 14th.
If your CPU is more than 4 years old, don't bother upgrading. What? What? Jay? No. If your CPU is less than 4 years old, don't bother upgrading. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was a phrasing issue. Yeah. I think we understand what the intention there was. If your CPU is less than 4 years old, it's not worth upgrading unless you're doing a big category upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, certainly I feel like they have stagnated a bit because obviously there was an enormous acceleration over like 2019, 20 and 21, and I guess a bit of 22. But that massive acceleration we saw as Ryzen took off, basically, that has slowed down a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't think we're at stagnation yet.
But it's certainly a case of the performance per core between 5000 series and 7000 series was a greater uplift than we've seen from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to 5.
Yeah, and also like that was something that I spotted the other day when I was watching the reviews for the 14th gen Intel stuff. I was looking at how like the 7600X I think is a really, really good CPU, it seems.
Yes.
You know, and then like the 7800X3D is just demolishing everything at gaming in terms of value per money. It's not necessarily a chart topper, but you know that's a mid-range CPU that is consistently in the top 5 kind of thing.
Yeah, it's certainly a case of the 7800 is if you're building primarily a gaming computer, you're building around a 7800X3D.
Yeah.
If that's your budget.
Yeah.
It's a case that if you're doing stuff that's wider than that, you're still building Intel just because they stuff so many E-cores in, basically.
Yeah.
But you then need to look at application-specific
Well, that's the thing, though.
performance, because
we had this conversation the other week. Those E-cores don't seem to translate to meaningful real-life performance.
That's what I'm saying. If you're doing something that's very wide,
Mm.
so you're doing something that is spawning lots of individual threads, where each thread is mostly independent.
Mm.
So if you're doing something like Blender work, if you're doing something like Chromium compiling, you know, if you're doing stuff like that where each thread can function reasonably independently, they benefit because they have because it is very wide. So
yeah. You would have to be doing that specifically, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's still a case that you need to look at, obviously, application-specific benchmarking, just because there will be some stuff where having 16 big cores as opposed to 8 big cores and some little cores actually gives you better performance and so on. So obviously,
big core, little core, cardboard box.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And apparently for not Arrow Lake, Lunar Lake, I think that's the one that's coming 2026, 2027. We're going to have 2 extra big cores.
Oh wow, push the boat out there. Yeah.
Then we're going to have 4 big cores and something like 32 E-cores.
Yeah. 32. Yeah.
Also no hyperthreading.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you don't need hyperthreading when you have 32 E-cores. Like, your E-cores are kind of your hyperthreading in a way, aren't they?
Kind of.
You know, just slightly weaker cores, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is fine if they're increasing the IPC, because it's a case of, like, you need to increase the IPC or you need to increase the core count. And E-cores don't translate to big, grunty, do heavy lifting cores, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That doesn't feel like a helpful direction to be going in. And I guess it also depends on whether they can just get the power consumption down, because that is also Intel's biggest issue at the moment. Is their power consumption is unacceptable, in my opinion.
I think it's a case that at the moment there are more use cases where AMD's lower power usage offsets any performance benefit.
I'm not sure what fans to put in this. I was going to put the Lianlis in here, but they have the specialist connector on it. This is going to be an ARGB fan, so like I could repin that into another connector. Just like I've also got a stack of Corsair fans here, but I don't have another Corsair controller. I guess. Could we swap places a sec? I'm just going to bash up eBay and just have a quick look on eBay just to see if I can pick up a very cheap IQ controller for a few quid. Such a thing must exist. eBay.
What, just like the Commanders, or whatever they were?
Yeah, IQ 6 channel RGB. Basically just the one that would have come with the 220T. Commander Pro. No, I don't. I don't want. I want the cheap one that comes with the case that someone has ripped out because they bought a Commander or something. But it doesn't have this controller doesn't have a name. That's the problem. It's just a generic comes with the case controller. Corsair RGB hub. I'm going to try that. Hub is the wrong word, but I'm going to deliberately put in the wrong word to see if that. There we go. Oh, that's the Commander Pro. Never mind. Oh, see, the problem is Corsair actually have hubs as well. So no, that's pulling up the wrong results. Hold on. Corsair RGB LED fan hub controller. Oh, that is just the hub. Yeah, that. It's really cheap though. That doesn't look like it's real. And also, yeah, it is a hub. It is not a... It's not a controller, no. They're telling lies! Splitter. Corsair RGB to ARGB. Oh no, that's output. No, that's no bueno. Oh, this might be something I have to look up later. Losing interest in 3, 2, 1. Lost interest. Yeah, okay, I'll need to do some more searching later.
RGB powered USB hub. Oh, I see. It means it's a USB hub that is powered, not that the USB hub is powered by RGB.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because those little Corsair hubs are awful, because that's how you end up with the Corsair setups where you have like 3 Corsair RGB boxes that all have a SATA power connector on them each.
Yes.
Because reasons. So yeah, I'll have a rummage around. I think I should stick the Corsair fans back in. Maybe not all 6 of them. Are there any more? How many light loops are there? There's 2 light loops. Oh, that's one of the Lianli ones. It looks like I'm missing a light loop. I must have stolen one and put it somewhere else. So I guess I'll put the 3 SP120s back in the front. And I will just have to have a rummage and see if I can find another controller.
Why wouldn't you just use the Lianlis?
I'd have to repin them. I mean, I guess I could just repin them. I'll have to find I've got to find some connectors for them. Although I might be able to, I tell you what I would do actually. If I got a triple ARGB Y splitter, so
just solder it onto that.
Yeah, basically that. Like this is a fan splitter, so a 3-into-1. You can get these, but for ARGB. So if I get one of these, I could then just take the connectors off and just hotwire the fans onto them. And then just do that nicely, some heat shrink and stuff, and then you've got 3 fans that go into an ARGB header, and then plug that into the motherboard. Problem solved. So yeah, I'll put the Lianlis in there in that case.
Yeah.
So yeah, very well. I'll put the Lianlis in.
That's fine. What else needs to go in here?
Right.
CPU cooler, which requires that bracket.
Yeah. CPU cooler and fans. Yeah, CPU cooler and fans, and then we're done basically.
Cool.
And so yeah, we've got a splitter for those, and then we need another splitter for the things. So, all right. Right. Yeah, I won't bother fitting those now because I need to repin the wires on that. So we're kind of at a standpoint because that needs more parts now.
Yeah, I was just working out what parts this needed.
Agreed.
And loosely collating them.
Yes. Yep, that can go on. And have we got the front panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, grand. Yep, that'll do. All right, I think we'll wrap up there then in that case. Corsair hub, then USB to motherboard. That's the one that I'd be looking for. We need an RGB standard. We have one, it's ARGB, but Corsair and a bunch of others know better.
We need one, it's called Corsair RGB.
Yeah. For more interesting stuff on RGB, stay tuned for Tuesday's video, which is going to be about using Signal RGB to make your RGB less awful.
Is it?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
I thought it was about Open RGB.
Oh, Open RGB, yes. Not Signal RGB. I got my words mixed up. Yep.
I was going to say, why is it about the one you don't like?
Yes, no, I didn't like Signal RGB. I need to test that again sometime to confirm my bias, because, you know, it was a sample size of 1.
I need to confirm that you're terrible.
Yeah, but like I installed Signal RGB on the Lianli at one point because the Lianli has a mixed RGB setup. Ouch. I put Signal RGB on it, did a basic setup on there, and it was using like 10% of 10% CPU on a 5800X all the time. And I'm like, wow, that's awful. I'm uninstalling this immediately. So I need to try it again on another system and just confirm. Because, yeah, wasn't impressed. Open RGB, however, is wonderful, and you can do lots of cool things with it. So, yeah. So that's the plan there. Do you have any sponsored reviews? Sponsored reviews aren't real. If it's sponsored, it's not a review. But also, no. Nothing at the moment, although that much being said, I've got an email in my inbox from Creality. They want me to look at more of their stuff.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm not interested in looking at another 3D printer because I don't really have anything more to say, and I'd just be doing it to get another free printer, and then I don't know what I'd do with that free printer. However,
you would sell it.
One of their I'd feel bad though. However, one of the other things that they said, we've just released was one of their resin 3D printers.
That's
and
cool.
I'm like, that would be fun. So I think I'll take them up on that and say, yeah, sure, I'll take a look at one of your resin 3D printers. Because at that point, then I can make a video about resin 3D printing in the same way that I did for this one and be like, cool, what can you do with a resin 3D printer? How does it compare to a filament one?
Yes.
And so on. What are the pros and cons?
Yes. I understand that resin printers are good for models.
Yes. And that would be really interesting because I've tried to do model printing on my one, and you can do some stuff, but it's not everything I hoped and dreamed for that. It's more useful for making parts. Whereas the resin 3D printer, I can be like, cool, now I can pirate all of the Warhammer and stuff. And you're morally justified in never mind. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck Games Workshop.
Yeah. So that would that would be an interesting thing, and that will be.
Yes, don't drink the resin.
No, I will not imbibe the resin. So yeah, that will be a video, and I will probably receive free product for that, which will be disclosed. But yeah,
it will be declothed.
Declothed, yeah. Where sponsors? Maybe. Oh, well, I've also got a sponsor offer from. Who are the people that do World of Tanks again? Can't remember. Wargaming.
World of War Tanks.
Yeah, World of Plane Tanks, tank planes. Wargaming sent me an email, and I'm like, I guess I could do that. I think that would be inoffensive to do an advert for World of Tanks.
I require you to give me 12 years of premium, so I too can get to tier 10.
That's the problem, is that if I did it, I'd have to sell it and tell you about the game, but I can't say, I've been really enjoying this, because it's just like, I don't play World of Tanks and I don't care about it, or World of Warships for that matter.
You used to care about World of Tanks.
I never really got into it. I played a bit of it.
Until your friends stopped playing.
Yeah, I was kind of playing it just because other people were, and I wanted to play games with my friends. But after other people, I kind of bounced off of it.
Yeah.
It didn't stick with me. So that will be a thing. Resin chemicals are concerned. That's the interesting thing. This one from Creality, it has a built-in air filter. It's got an enclosure and a built-in air filter, so it doesn't pump out fumes and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool.
That's good.
So yeah, that would be the thing.
Bring on a friend to do the shilling.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm not suggesting you buy this, but my friend.
Yeah.
Liam Gord.
Hello, Brightech. As I say, that's a possibility. Need to look into that. I need to get going on the sponsored content. It's just low priority because I've got other things that are stressing me out that I want to get out of the way so I have a clear mind to focus on this stuff. That's the plan. I kind of alluded to earlier on, and I've been thinking about making a video for the Patreon crowd and stuff like that to basically just say words to the effect of coming out of this summer, I'm kind of looking back and just being like, man, I've had a bad summer and I've not been in a good headspace this summer. And I kind of want to acknowledge that and be like, this is why I think I've been in a bad headspace. This is what I've been doing to try and alleviate that. And this is where I think we're getting to, you know. So, which is not to say, this doesn't stop content from being made or anything, but I don't know. I've been off all year and I'm getting to the point where I'm not quite out of it, but I'm looking. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm trying to plod my way over there. You know. So yeah. So yes. What are you sniggering at?
I always laughed at the kind of metaphor for seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and then just people going into the light.
Carolyn, don't go into the light. Yeah, maybe.
I was like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, or there's a cracking line from a Dream Theater song where they say the only light at the end of the tunnel seems to be another train, and it's just like oof, you know. But yeah, it's a train at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, exactly that. Anyway,
To carry you to greater and better things.
There was a scene when I was playing through Half-Life 2 where I was trying to outrun a speeding train and died repeatedly. So yeah, this is not good. Anyway, right, we're off because we've been waffling. Apologies for the low energy stream. Like I said, I'm not in. It's been a bad day, but we seem to have gotten through this. So apologies for the low energy stream. Apologies for the echo. We'll sort it out, but couldn't sort it out live. Whatever. And as people have said, I will next be live on Twitch tomorrow. I'm going to bash in my channel. I'm playing through Half-Life Alyx at the moment, which is the VR Half-Life, and it's really freaking good for me, who's wearing the VR headset. So if you want to hear more of my stupid voice, tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time for more Half-Life Alyx. And we'll be back. No, we won't be back next week. Or I won't be back next week. Because next week I'm at LAN Raiders. It's JLAN. I'm going to be at a LAN party. So yeah, there's probably nothing on next week unless Caradog suddenly decides he wants to do something solo.
Yeah.
So,
if there are ideas or something, but probably not.
Don't expect anything. However, cool kids who are in the Discord might spot something go up. So yes, that is all. Oh yeah. Also, sorry for all of the adverts. It won't happen again. But it was a test
Until
that
next
I want.
week. It will happen again next week.
No.
Specifically next week. It will happen again
when there is no stream.
Yes.
Yeah. I've enjoyed this conversation in English. Thank you and goodbye, everyone. See you on. Toodles.
Yes. Goodbye. Where's the end button? You have been signed out of YouTube Studio. Please verify.
Yeah. The YouTube Studio tab had gone to sleep. End stream. Goodbye.